about 4 seasons ago where he got benched because he was doing so bad against Casey in the regular season. Never forgive him for that game. Oh, we're live.
Oh, hey everybody. I'm here with Felicia today, and we are going to be talking about Targaryens and all things having to do with them. How you doing, Felicia? I want to say hi.
Hey everybody, I'm Felicia, and I am so bad at these intro things. I'm here to talk about Targaryens, and I brought along some trivia as well.
Oh yeah, this is going to be fun. And yeah, I'm bad at the intros too. I always feel silly at first when I'm doing it. I don't feel bad. Is that a rubber ducky I just seen?
A rubber ducky?
It looked like a rubber ducky out the corner of my eye.
Over here?
Yeah. Oh no, it was the angry bird. I just seen his beak. It was the thing. Okay.
Yeah. I still gotta give that back to my nephew.
I was thinking, okay, tomorrow's my son's birthday. Happy birthday, Cole. And we realized that on my mom's calendar, it's National Rubber Ducky Day.
Rubber ducky, you're the one.
Yeah. So rubber duckies are on our mind. So, yeah, today we're going to talk about Targaryens. And we were expecting Kimmy, but I think she's still a bit under the weather. So we will try and explain things to her, and hopefully she's watching this at home. So where to start? The first question, I know that she had no idea about even what old Valaryia was. So, well, I guess we can start there because that's kind of where Targaryens and all the Valaryens came from. She wasn't even quite sure that the Targaryens and Valaryens were the same thing. So old Valaryia is, let's see, I'm trying to think of how to explain it in an easy way.
Ancient land in the Sunset Sea in tropical weather.
Yes.
Everyone thinks of the peninsula of Old Valyria, but they conquered a lot. So once they were just, people, then they were able to, once they got the dragons, they just started taking over everything.
And you know something I thought about, because they're described early on as shepherds before they became dragon lords and before they learned how to tame them and all. And when they're described as shepherds, I thought about the Valaryia.
Oh, the land people.
Yeah, the land people. And I wondered if there was any relation, like maybe the Valaryia are kind of part of what was left of the shepherds that didn't become dragon lords, that had kind of moved on to further into Essos or something.
Well, that could explain why they worship the great shepherd. Maybe they looked at the dragon tamers as like a great shepherd.
Right. Or maybe that was one of the several Valyrian gods, which we know that also in Old Valyria that there were several gods, and those are also considered old gods, like how we have the old gods in the north.
Weren't 3 dragons were Balerion, Meraxes, and Vagar. Those were all named after gods, right?
Yeah, more than them too. Syrax I know was too. So yeah, there was quite a few that we hear about. And Valaryia, we also know that because they learned, once they learned the dragon tame, they had what was known as the Valyrian freehold, which a lot of the free cities were included in this. Volantis being the oldest one.
The daughter cities, they had a name for them. Daughters of Valyria or something.
Yeah, the daughters of Valaryia.
Mm-hmm.
And something I was wondering about too with this, and I was bringing this up with you, is where Valaryia is called the freehold. It never really made sense, that to me at least, where we learn in the books from the maesters that the Valyrians would conquer slaves and bring them back because they were fighting against the Giscari in 5 wars they had against them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
on Wiki right now.
Yeah, and during these wars they were against them, and the Giscaris were the ones that had the slaves.
That's where they say that's where they got the idea.
Right.
It says right here, they adopted slavery from the Gis. Valyria expanded its influence over the surviving Giscari colonies of Slaver Bay and continued to conquer and further colonize. So once they conquered them, one of the things Valyria was pretty well known for was allowing people to keep their gods. So they would, take slaves and then let them keep their gods. So that makes sense that they would take over a trait of someone they conquered.
Right, but then it also tells us that when they do, at one point when they defeated the Giscari, that they pulled down their god, the harpy, that they pulled it down when they destroyed Old Gis, right?
Yep, I'm looking at the Giscari Wars right now. It was a series of wars fought between the old Empire of Gis and the rising power of the new Valyrian Freehold. And the lockstep legions of Gis faced the Dragon Lords. They destroyed it, pretty much. There was 5 wars. And then finally the 5th war, the last Giscari War, took place around, 4700 BC. And the end of the 5th and final war, the Giscari Empire was utter defeat. The Valyrian lords burned the city to ashes and sowed the fields with salt, so nothing could grow. So
that makes me think of the Red Waste too.
And now they speak High Valyrian too. They never were able to regain their glory.
So yeah, but that is kind of interesting though. I wonder if that's just like a maester mistake though. And I mean, I could see them like taking like prisoners of war from the Giscari or something to work for them, but being called the Freehold, I wonder if it's just a mistake in general.
Well, I think Freehold's just a name. It might just be the translation because Freehold doesn't imply freedom.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not like America.
Right, but we hear about how I know, but they talk to us too about how they kind of let everybody have a voice though early on, in Valaryia. The landowners, all the landowners have a voice.
Mm-hmm.
So it just seems, I don't know, it's just odd to me. It's just one of them things I wonder. Especially because we still have Giscari living and Marine and around Slaver's Bay too, and they're still practicing slavery. It's still called Slaver's Bay. So, and the harpy still exists there. So it's like, I wonder if history is wrong in that case.
Okay, you ready for some trivia?
Oh yeah, let's go. I think.
So no full name required because I'm going to give you the last name. Okay. What Targaryen sold his land in Valaryia and moved to Dragonstone?
Oh man, see, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that. It was Daenerys the Dreamer's daddy.
You are correct. Do you know his name?
I want to say, oh my goodness,
it's not a name we hear ever other than this guy.
Yeah.
The only one, I'm sure there's more, but it's the only one I can think of with this name.
Yeah, he does. I don't think we hear it ever again either. I give up.
Aenar the Exile.
Aenar, that's what it is. Yeah, okay. Aenar the Exile.
And second question, because this is all kind of on the same thing.
Okay.
This is a number question. So, how many years before the Doom did they move?
12.
Yes, and then you already answered my follow-up question, was who foresaw the Doom? Boom.
Daenerys
got that one. And then here's another one. What were the other 2 Valyrian houses that were already in Westeros?
The Celtigars and the Valyrians.
See, Celtigars, that's the one that was what I thought I might trick you up on.
Ah, yeah.
Everyone knows the Valyrians because the name. Good one on that one.
Speaking of the Valyrians, I want to bring up something with Fire and Blood because I know that you read this. Did you catch on that Spice Town is a city that popped up with them after
Driftmark?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's destroyed now.
Yeah, but did you think about the Spicers when you heard about Spice Town?
Oh, no, I didn't. Aren't the Spicers Westerland?
Yep.
But they're from a trading family, so they probably came from the east.
But the trading family, if you just think about it, though,
they probably came with the sea snake or something.
Right. It all just started popping in my head, especially the way that the Velaryons were trying to get onto the royal
That was
family and
that
the
was
throne.
Corlys. Corlys is the one who had his voyages and really established the Valaryans for what they were.
Right, and it was after him. He's the one that really built up Spice Town because of
Yeah.
his voyages.
And then it was destroyed during the dance. And then
Yeah,
his son, grandson, quote unquote, son, tried to reestablish it.
yeah.
Alan Valerian.
Valerian. The Valerians are pretty awesome. I like them too.
Well, I got one. We want to keep on Valerians because Valerians are famous for being married into the royal line.
Mm-hmm.
Can you name the first Valerian to marry into the royal line?
The first one?
The royal line.
Into the yeah. Huh. Yeah. I'm trying to think back. Okay, it was to Amy's.
Yep.
What was her name? Yeah.
It's a pretty common name for Targaryens. It's actually a name that you hear in real life.
Wasn't that Alyssa?
Yes, Alyssa Valerian.
I was sitting there going, it can't be Alyssa. That's too easy. Was it Alyssa?
It's a name you don't. It's actually a normal name for a second. You're like, wait a second, that guy's got a normal name.
It's too close to. I'm Melissa, so it was really close to mine. So I was like, no, it can't be that easy.
Alyssa Valerian. She was the wife of Amy's and the mother of Jaimes and his wife. Who was her second husband? Oh crap! What's his name?
Oh, Rogar Baratheon.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, he was kind of interesting. I really enjoyed him in Fire and Blood.
Yeah, he was kind of a jerk though.
He was a real ass, but he kind of redeemed himself towards the end, I think.
I don't know that his bachelor party was pretty wild.
Yeah. I was like, that was definitely a Baratheon party there. That's why we will not have a golden wedding in season 8 because we've already had one. Need a new name for Cersei's wedding if you think there's going to be one.
Oh yeah, I know Marie's got that theory that she thought that they would get married, but I think she's taking it back. I think she's so that's never because she really thought that Jaime and Cersei would get married. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't think Jaime and Cersei will anymore either.
So, next question: what is the name given to the period preceding the Doom?
Preceding the Doom?
Yep. There's a name given to the time period. If I give you the amount of time, it would be a hint.
And I know this, and I don't want to say the Rise of Valaryia because that's not it. I don't think. Oh my goodness! I know this.
You're doing pretty good. I gotta say, you're getting a lot of these.
Yeah, and I know this one too. I'm just trying to think, and it's like it was the wrong time to think, Felicia. We should have waited a few on the trivia. Wait a minute. Okay, before the Doom.
No, the time period preceding the Doom.
Oh, after the Doom. The Fall of Valaryia.
Yes, that's not the name of it though. There's a name given to the period.
Oh yeah.
It's okay to not know it.
Yeah, just let that one go.
You know it though. You're gonna hear it and be like, it's the Century of Blood.
The Century of Blood, yes. yes, because of all the stuff that was going on. Yes, I remember now. Yeah, see? Told you.
Here's a question I want to ask you. Is this considered marrying into the royal line? Because Aegon's mother was a Valerian. So is she technically married into the royal line because her son went on to be royal? Or no?
I would say so, yeah.
Because her name is, I know I spelled this wrong because I was listening to an audiobook when I did it.
Yeah, I spelled them wrong then too.
See, what is her name? Aegon's wife was...
Hi, Milt.
Valena. But I know there's probably a Y in there. Valena Valerian, which is like pretty much the same name twice. She was half Targaryen on her somehow. Her mom was probably Targaryen or something. And then I went like crazy taking my notes, and I started like listing every generation post Aenar up to Aegon. I was like 10 minutes into the video, and I'm like, I'm overdoing the notes. I could just go to Wiki.
Oh, I started going crazy on my Fire and Blood notes when I was watching it or reading it. And I'm not even like, I just went ahead and just started doing the audiobook at that point, and I was taking my notes from the book. And I just got too impatient, and I jumped on the audiobook, and it's like, okay, I'll go back and finish. And it's like just so many already. And then I kept jumping back and going, ooh, I need to remember that. I need to remember that.
I was pretty excited. I think Fire and Blood, I got really hyped about that release because Targaryens are just really good. And then they changed stuff in Fire and Blood. They really, Chief scored? Son of a bitch. Thanks for the update, Milt. But they changed some stuff. They went and they changed the order of certain sons and daughters. They actually got rid of a son completely and turned her into Daenerys.
Yeah. Yeah. And we learned stuff, even like through parts that we already knew, stories we already knew. They put in little things that we didn't know. Like something that made me really mad was when Viserys died, and it said, oh, the story that they've talked about dozens of times about when Jaehaerys went to the wall to fight giants and whites and wargs, or not whites, but giants and wildlings and wargs, but we never heard about it the whole time with Jaehaerys and Alysanne.
Mm-hmm.
I love Alysanne now. I think she's wonderful.
What's her name? She's from Politics of Ice and Fire. Nina Friol. She is the biggest lover of Alysanne. She wrote like a 6-part essay about her and how great she is.
You know, I used Visenya was like my absolute favorite, and I was really upset I did not get more on her.
Yeah, she didn't get much.
Yeah, it was just like I felt like there should have been more.
It's mostly her scheming and plotting. Like it's really nothing good is really said about. But again, winners write history, and Rhaenys is the line that succeeded. So
Rhaenyra was like a pretty. I liked her. She was pretty cool in it. She like they told us a lot of good stuff with her. I kind of wish
she died. Do you think she died at the Hellholt?
Oh no! I'm not talking about her. And no, I don't think she died at Hellholt. No, I'm talking about Jaehaerys' sister, the one that married Aegon.
Oh, okay. I have a name for her. You ready?
Yeah.
I call her Queen Dykes a lot. Because
she definitely was
the way they referred to her favorites, the same way they referred to Laenor Valerian's favorites.
Yes.
And so like once like I started seeing the word favorite, I'm like, lover.
Yeah.
Just turn favorite into lover, because that's what that means. And so I dubbed her Queen Dykes a lot.
It's like the Maesters just don't want to say what it was.
Mm-hmm. But she was definitely into chicks, or maybe she was just scarred from having to marry Aegon and Maegor. Yeah, she's Queen Dykes a lot.
Oh yeah, Dania the Defiant was pretty awesome, but she won't show up till volume 2.
Yeah, but we'll get the Testimony of Mushroom before we get volume 2. That's my new thing. Every time I'm like, we'll get the Testimony of Mushroom before we get the Dream of Spring. That's just everything.
Yeah. I think that would be really good. You know what else I'd like to see that I think would be just a cool book would be like the Book of Swords.
Oh. Yeah, that's a lot more fake history. He has to come up with names. There's gonna be some contradictions there.
Yeah. I don't think that would come out. I don't think it should come out till like after Dream of Spring, just to have Jaime and Brienne in there. I think that one should be like, I just think it would be really good.
So whose Kingsguard is Jaime going to be on? I mean, Brienne going to be on?
Oh, I think she'll be on Sansa's. I think she's Sansa's sworn sword, like the I can never say that chick. Quill, whatever, Dark.
Oh, Jackquill Darkland.
Jackquill Darkland. I can never say her name right.
Or they call the audiobook says John Quill. Like they say it funky.
And that's what messes me up, because I'll read it one way and then the audio says it another way, and it's like, and I know it's not right too.
This new guy says things different than Royce, because Roy Dotrice said Argilac the Arrogant. Like
the
that
Scarlet
was
Shadow. That's it.
And now this guy is calling him Argilac. And I'm like, you're saying his name wrong.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's Argilac the Arrogant, because I go, like, Patire, I go by the Royce Dotrice audiobook, because that's how I first read it, was through the Royce Dotrice. So that's how I say all the names. Except I don't say Brian, because that's better.
I know, I was about to say, except for Brian's name.
Yeah, he was not consistent on that one. And so those ones, but, like, it's dry. Like, I know he's not Royce, so I just, it just doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah.
He's saying Ergelin, and I'm like, it's not his name.
Yeah.
Yelling at my TV. It's like 3 a.m. I'm like, that's wrong, yelling at my TV.
I do that too.
But when the book came out, Bran, good friend, he sent me the PDF file. So I started reading it. And I have this very nifty library card app on my tablet, so I can just get books right from the library. But because it was so new, everybody wanted it, so I had to wait like a month and a half for the audiobook.
Can I eat some Oreos?
Hang on 1 second. Let me see what this young
Milk's favorite cookie.
She was asking for Oreos. I could hear.
That makes me want a Lunchable. They always got 2 Oreos in it.
And she was like, Cole already had some. Can I have some Oreos? Yeah. I have a hard time telling my kids no.
There was another woman who was probably a lesbian too. One of the Aaron chicks during the dance. The Aaron chick.
Yeah, no, yeah, it actually talked about it too, and pretty much said she was, that she liked chicks going down on her, and that's how he convinced her, is he went down on her. Like, she didn't want him to sleep with her, she just had him go down on her, and he wanted a couple, she wanted a dragon rider sent there too. That was the other thing.
Oh, that's when one of the Valaryens, one of Rhaenys, Rhaenyra.
Yeah, see, I do that too.
Well, I've heard her be referred to. I've heard her name said many different ways, but I like Rhaenyra, man. Like, she gets so much flack just for having a couple of bastards, but that bitch was the rightful ruler of Westeros.
I agree. No, she was. I love her.
And her third husband was maybe the coolest character who's ever existed in A Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, Daemon.
No, her second husband. Oh. She was his third wife.
You talking about Daemon?
Yeah, the Rogue Prince.
Yeah, no, I know. Every time I hear the Rogue Prince, I hear Preston's video with the
porn
song.
Music.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Preston is the beast for that. I love it. I don't know where that gag started, but ever since he started doing it, it's hilarious.
And okay, Milt says she wasn't the most stable queen of Westeros, though. I think she was kind of driven mad, honestly.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I've always thought there was a huge parallel between Rhaenyra and Cersei.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing, because I understand Cersei's madness too. I really do.
They've both been referred to. Like, there's one scene where Cersei thinks she's Tywin with teats.
Yeah.
And then Rhaenyra was called Maegor with teats. They were both cut by the Iron Throne. They both had bastard children they tried passing off as true-born kings. And all the bastards died.
And there were 3 of them.
Yeah, like, the parallels are just there. They both were cut by the Iron Throne, too. That's a big one.
And yeah, and another thing to point out, she lost her daughter. So
you think
the baby that's coming with Cersei, she lost it.
That's all D&D fake news, though. Those are alternative facts.
Yeah, I'm telling you. You know what? I really do think she's going to get stabbed in the belly like Taisha did, just to bring the Red Wedding full circle.
Well, I don't think, like, the whole pregnancy thing in the books, I've heard the theory that she's getting fat in the books.
Yeah.
There's, like, a scene where she has her washerwomen whipped because they shrunk her dresses. It's like, no, bitch, you're just getting fat.
Yeah. that doesn't even necessarily mean that she's pregnant though. She could just be getting fat. She's getting older.
Yeah, she's getting to that age, where she's not gonna be able to have kids anymore, anyways. And usually,
she could just be
gain.
depressed too after all the crap she went through.
She's drinking a lot. Yeah, she's just getting. Like, I've heard the theory that she's pregnant. I think she's just living life badly, poorly. She's pulling a Robert.
All the sugar in the wine. That's what Milt said.
Oh,
and that's probably it. Yeah, all that great wine.
Oh, have you tried any of those wines that they make for Game of Thrones?
No, I want them, but I don't want to drink them. I just want the bottles. I don't like wine actually so much.
I
just found the one I like. Let me rephrase that.
I like white wine. So all the Game of Thrones ones are red wines, and I'm not a fan of red wine.
I thought they had an Arbor Gold one.
Is that white?
Or like
Arbor Gold would be white wine then.
Yeah,
that's the only one I would try.
I thought they had one of each kind. I was looking at them online because I wanted to buy them just because I want the bottles. They have beers too, like different ales.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that. I'm picky.
Yeah, I just want the bottles. I know I'll eventually break into them just because I'm like,
Like New Year's Eve, got some wine.
Yeah. But it's like I want them just for the bottles. That's it. Just because I have so much Game of Thrones stuff. It's crazy. But I get like the Culture Fly boxes and I do the pops and I got banners and blankets and probably about 20 t-shirts or so and all kinds of stuff.
I don't have any
t-shirts. My kids. Huh?
I don't have any t-shirts. I'm kind of paranoid about ordering things online. Like me and my boyfriend, he's had a lot of banking issues already. So, like his ATM got hacked like 4 times. Our friend stole our credit card. Like we've had issues with identity theft before, so he's paranoid about using ordering anything online. So like all the really cool stuff you got to order online.
Oh, I've like probably got new credit cards 3 times in the last year because I get paranoid too. It's like if something looks up, I'm like, that's not right. Order a new card.
The best one to do is look at those prepaid ones.
Yeah.
Honestly. But then those like $5 for the card, and he's like, yeah, I'm just not going to get it. I'll go to Walmart later.
Yeah, they got them for like $3 something or something like that at Walmart, and you can just load them there.
Yeah, we're paranoid about ordering online. Just we have good reason.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
One time he got like a bank statement saying that someone was using his card in Massachusetts, and he's like, oh, well, someone stole my card. Scary identity theft.
He said white wine has more sugar than red. That stuff will give you headaches and extra pounds. Doesn't she? Well, let's see. I know I see her drinking red wine a lot, but doesn't or wouldn't she drink white wine like because it's Arbor Gold and it's supposed to be the best or whatever?
Yeah, she probably. Well, yeah, especially with the Lannisters, not Lannisters, the Tyrells. There we go.
Yeah, because they were even Mace was like, oh, I'll send you a case or whatever and all that other stuff.
And then Oberyn made a remark about how their wine sucks.
Yeah. I love Oberyn.
He's a good character.
Yeah, they ruined Showdorn though. I think everybody's sad about that. Yeah,
I remember when I did a video with LMR. And it's like, if you could change one thing in the show, and everyone goes right to Dorne.
Yeah. Dorne.
And I remember I had an answer for like one thing that the show did better than the books. And that scene in Dance where Tyrion treats that whore really poorly.
Yeah.
I'm happy that they changed it and made it so we didn't go with her at all.
Yeah.
Like that's the only good show change from book. That's like the only one because it would make you hate his character. It would make him look more like a villain as George is trying to depict him, but D&D are alternative facts.
Yeah, they are.
So, that's the only change I think that was a good change show to book. What about you?
Yeah, no, I agree because it was a really sweet moment with Tyrion. But and it also it shows that he's messed up in the head, that he did have some remorse and how bad Shay screwed him up too, honestly.
I've heard people try to defend Tyrion in that scene. And I'm like, go ahead, keep trying. You just look bad.
Yeah, no. Well, will they cut out? I mean, we barely heard about Taisha. He's not running around going, "Do you know where Horace go in the book in the show?" So we got to see some kind of damage done.
They actually went out of their way to bring up Taisha. Why did they never bring her back? Like,
yeah,
I don't like that.
yeah. We hear him talking to Bronn and Shay about it, and then that's like pretty much it, So why even bring it up?
Oh, I think you spelled Targaryens wrong in the title.
Did I? I probably did. I was typing really fast. I did. Look at it. I'll fix it after.
You know what name I'll never forget how to spell? Jaehaerys. Jaehaerys.
Yeah, I typed that one so many times trying to teach my phone how to spell it.
Yeah, like that's like it's JAH. Like J. Like I'll just never forget how to spell it.
Yes, we got her on here.
I usually say no, but because I'm just afraid of rambling too much. But I remember saying Cammy, like, I'm never gonna get off this spear if I don't say yes.
You know what? It took me a long time, and once I did it, now it's like I just love doing it. It's like, what do y'all want to talk about today? Okay, let's do it.
You want to go back?
Yeah, I was gonna say let's get back going. Okay, we were talking about how the different houses came over and stuff. They weren't the only. It wasn't just the Targaryens that escaped the doom.
Yeah, there were two other ones.
Yep, the Celtics and the Valaryens.
Can you name their seats?
Yeah. Celtics. I know they're right there. What at Crackclaw Point or somewhere right there?
Very close.
Yeah, there's somewhere right there. I know they're right there.
Claw Isle.
Claw Island. Okay.
Claw Isle.
Claw Isle. Yeah. Claw Isle. I know. I don't know why I put an A and D in there. I don't have my glasses on. I'm trying to squint. And thank you, Milk. And Driftmark. I know that.
Thanks for taking all the credit. What'd I do?
Huh?
I don't know.
Oh, something I want to bring up again from Fire and Blood, just about the Velaryons. When they built the new castle.
Oh.
And it was described as being made of all the white stone and everything, like the Eyrie.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that's kind of weird. And number one, where they get the stone from, and because the Erie's not that close to them. And do you think that's just
I think they said important? It was. I think it was imported marble. I feel like there was a thing about that. And,
yeah, it is white marble. I know that.
I think it's A World of Ice and Fire has a whole thing about who built that castle.
And I don't remember it saying anything. I know it was talking about
what was his name? I want to say Robin, but that's wrong. It was like Robar or
Robar.
It was like a name that a Royce would have.
Oh yeah, like who built it just in general? Yeah, but what I'm talking about is because we got a lot of black oily stone everywhere, and just the different stones and stuff. But now we got the two with the white stone. Do you think that has anything? Do you think that's anything weird? Because the Velaryons, they're like
people get there's a difference between the fused black stone of like Valyrian and then the oily black stone. Those are different stones. People get them confused.
Right. But like because I'm saying we got the oily black stone all over the place and all that, but where we got because the Valyrians did the white stone, they made it specifically of that. Do you think there's a reason for it? Like maybe that's dragon repellent or some crap like that. Because think about it, when Visenya flew to the Eyrie, she just flew around there. She didn't even try and scare anybody or anything. And maybe that could have been because of the stone. Maybe there's something about the stone we don't know.
I've never thought too much about the stone of the Eyrie. I just always thought about it imported from somewhere because it's like
a rich thing.
Mm-hmm. Because I remember, like, I do remember a chapter about the building of the Eyrie a little bit.
Oh, I remember them talking about, when they built it and all that other stuff. I'm just curious. I get really into the stones and like why they're like that and the different. Yeah, I get into that. But yeah, it got me. Oh yeah, that's my new. That's the brand new Funkos that I got back there. BBM, I see you. Oh, that's right. I'm just gonna call you D now. I forgot.
Yeah, he wants to stop calling him BBM, but I make no promises there.
Right. It's just hard. It's just hard. I know. I told him, I'm like, I can't do the fandom desync the whole thing. I'm just going to call you D. But yeah, I just got the new ones. Those are the brand new ones right there. Not her. I've had her.
My newest Funko Pops were for Christmas from Johnny. I got Austin Powers and Dr. Evil.
Oh, right. I love them.
Yeah, those are the ones
I
I
was
got from
looking at
Johnny.
Austin Powers the other day, actually. He popped up on my little recommended list on Amazon. It's like, you might like these. I was like, ooh, I do.
My Funkos are like breeding over here. They're just multiplying. I need a larger shelf. My mom keeps coming over and like she walks in my room, tries to be nonchalant about it and like does like an eyeball measurement of my shelf. I know in her mind she's calculating, you know, she wants to. She keeps buying me books and she yells at me that I don't put my books on the bookshelf.
It's like, well, get me a bookshelf also. Yeah, I need to get a really
you can't
big
see, but if you look
mine.
underneath, it's just a stack of books because I have no room. It's just a stack of books.
Mine are in a box too. I have a box of books. Actually, I have like 2 boxes of books, and then I have all my box of Funkos is about that big. It's just like a big old packing box, and it's stuffed full. Then I have all these and a couple random ones that are just in there too.
I joke around. I'm an awful aunt because my nephew comes over and he's 2 and he wants to come in my room, but I won't let him come in my room and play with any of my toys. I got a whole shelf of toys that he's not allowed to play with.
Oh, I got my kids collecting them now too. And every now and then my daughter will be like, my son won't take his out of the box. He's like, no.
I've only taken one, and it was my little elf chick because I was like, ooh, it's an elf. I got a sword. I like elves. I got an obsession with elves.
Oh yeah, I love elves too. I love them all. I do. I when I played Warcraft, that was like I always had to be an elf.
That's what I said when you're like, give me a second. I was like, I had to get the computer from Johnny because he was playing Warcraft.
Really? Oh,
yeah. He loves.
Happy Rogue. I'm Happy Rogue. That's my name on there. Like my little friend thing on there.
I remember he wanted a name for his character, and he wanted a cool name. So what I did is I pulled out my Norse mythology books. Because usually those names are like Scandinavian, like in that like fantasy realm.
Yeah.
So I pulled out my Norse mythology books and I started reading off like names of lands, swords, and gods, and that's he chose one. It was like some characters thing. I don't even know his name. It's ridiculous. It's like the sword that Heimdall wields or something dumb.
That's where Revengeance came from. Actually, it was one of my tunes on there. I've got a bunch of. I made a priest that's called Thoros is here.
He always does magic. He likes to he always did like a battle mage, but now his new test to himself is he can do it with just magic and magic alone.
Oh yeah, my husband plays all the time too. And when I'm not on the computer, that's what he's on here doing. He's either in here playing WoW or on the Xbox.
That's my boyfriend. Seriously, it's Madden or WoW.
Yeah.
Rocket League. He plays Rocket League.
Division. Mine does Division and Destiny. Every now and then Destiny.
Yeah, he does. He likes his sports games. We like sports around here. Like we're big into sports.
Oh yeah.
Like we like to play sports, watch sports, and video game sports.
Well, football is our sport. That's ours here.
Well, yeah, football. I'm a big tennis fan. Huge tennis fan. It's my weird obsession.
Milt, you say Children of the Forest is overrated. I hate them little creepy bastards. But I tell you what, I paid $9 for that, and I see them sell them for $300. So yeah, I have no problem getting that. That's an investment, is what that is.
There's this thing, it's a website called Stashpedia. You can like register and see how much they're worth. Like you can like Milt was talking about it. It's called Stashpedia.
Stashpedia. D as we're calling him now, introduced me one called Mercario, and there's a bunch of them on there too, where like people swap and trade and sell them on there. And yeah, there's like $1,000 Funkos. I'm telling you, if I ever find a Headless Ned somewhere cheap, then I'm gonna grab it
Yeah,
because
you probably won't though. That's one of the rare ones. That's one of the rare ones.
That's why I like to buy them when they first come out, because it's the rare ones that end up costing a lot of money. Barrick's already worth like $40, $50. He's like going up already too.
I will not pay more than $10 for a Funko Pop. I think I might have paid $12 for Brady. That's
the most
Tom Brady.
I paid was $30, and that was for Sansa, and she's worth a lot more now.
Listen, I would pay probably 20 tops for Brady. That would be my limit, though.
And
I just can't justify on something on first of all I'm never gonna play with. I'm never gonna take out of the box. It's just gonna be there in display. Like that.
I'll probably break down one day and take them out. I really do think I will, but I'm trying really hard not to.
I love them. I just want to collect them.
Yeah, that's me too. That's what I want to do. My daughter takes hers out. My son, he's like, no, they're not coming out the box. So I'm training him right. But
I just love
my
them.
daughter's 6. She's like, no, they're so adorable, and that's what makes me want to do it.
They're the new Beanie Babies, man. They really are.
Yeah, I got some Beanie Babies still too.
My mother-in-law has a shelf of Beanie Babies across the hall.
My grandma used to collect. She had like all of them. So now there's like just random ones that every now and then my mom will be like, here's a Beanie Baby. So we get them every now and then.
I have my headphones on the charger real quick.
Okay. And let's see. I want to talk about, where was we at? We were talking about Valaryens.
Okay, back. My wire is not long enough. I hate being caught on a wire. Ugh. Like medieval ages over here.
I had headless or wireless Beats, and they finally died. I didn't even have them a year. So, but I actually like these better.
I got these cheap wireless headphones at like a place called Five Below.
Yep, I know that store. I like it.
Yeah, and I paid $5 for them. They only last 2 hours when they're fully charged. So whatever, you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
The volume's very low. They're very low. But other than that,
I don't know how much Buzz Lightyear is worth, but both my kids have played with it for a long time, and I like to play with them every now and then.
I think my brother used to have that toy.
Still.
My brother used to have that toy. He was obsessed with Buzz Lightyear when he was a kid. You know the little movie they had?
This is an intergalactic emergency. Buzz Lightyear to the rescue.
So yeah, he's still worth a lot. He's missing a hand though.
Can you hear Tom Hanks collecting those royalties?
Yeah. It's like, thanks, man.
He's missing a hand though, huh? That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if his arm fell off, like in the movie.
Oh. No, you don't even want to stand it.
Oh, he's falling with style.
I had my Pikachu mask the other day. My daughter came in here and got it.
I've got my Mandalorian mask. I love this thing. It really squishes the fuck out of my nose, and I can't wear my glasses with it.
That's how we got Star Lord. You put the Star Lord one on, and it's like,
I do this with the glasses. It's cheating.
Jaime Lightyear without the hand. Yeah, golden hand.
My mom is watching Game of Thrones, but she never watched season 2. So she keeps asking me how Jaime lost his hand. I'm like, Mom, you gotta watch this shit in order.
Right? Oh, that's like one of my favorite episodes too.
And it's like the best season. Season 2 is probably the best season ever.
Yeah.
And I don't know how she missed such an important, crucial season.
I know. She missed the King in the North and everything. Like
she doesn't. She's like, she saw season 1, season 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So she's so confused. She keeps calling me and asking me stuff. And I'm like, Mom, just
go back and watch season 2.
She's like watching an episode. She'll pause it, call me up, and be like, What's going on here? Who is this guy? And I'm like, Mom, gotta watch season 2.
Okay.
Not get it.
Is what a Valerian, Connie?
Hugh Hammer?
No, he wasn't.
that was one of the dragon seeds.
Yeah.
He was just someone's baby. Alana Hull and who was Alan's older Alana Hull and Alan's older brother, the one who rode Sea Smoke. What was his name?
Adam.
Adam.
It's Alan and Adam.
Alan and Adam were Valaryens.
Yeah.
They were probably the sons of the Sea Snake, but claimed to be the sons of Prince I Like Boys. Yes.
And that Hugh the Hammer was just kind of an ass. He thought that the prophecy was about him, about the hammer going upon the dragon, riding the dragon or whatever, and a new king shall rise.
Mm-hmm.
I actually seen a pretty good video that Grey Area did describing it with all the prophecies and how, and it makes really good sense. About that would be when the Night King actually rose. That's not what the prophecy was about. It was about when the hammer fell upon Rhaegar, the dragon, at the Trident, and that was when the new king rose. So that would be when they woke up. The Night King woke up, basically.
Well, we don't. Well, my thing with the Night King, I've said this before on streams. I feel like the Night King is a dumbing down. Like having a single person to represent the threat is just dumbing down for show watchers.
Oh yeah.
Because as far as like, who knows? I could be wrong. There's like a Madrid wizard controlling everything. But like, as far as we know, in the books, there is no head of the others because they're called the others. White Walkers.
Yeah.
They're referred to White Walkers, I think, once by Old Man. They're always called the others, and there's like it's just a dumbing down. So we as show watchers understand. Oh, that's the bad guy.
Yeah, I think it's to give John someone to fight in the old way, one-on-one, because they're always talking about the old way. He tried to fight Ramsay that way. It's not our way, it's the old way, and all that other stuff. So they can go one-on-one and settle it that way as sort of an end game sort of thing,
So what is your favorite house?
My favorite? Oh, I'm a Targaryen. Now, I love Dorne in general, but I'm definitely Targaryen. And then I like Blackwoods.
Oh, Blackwoods are cool beans. See,
Yeah.
I prefer to like the minor houses. I would like, I know it's really fucked up to say, but I would be so cool at the end of the series if all the Great Lords were no longer Great Lords and their arch rivals became the Great Lords, like the Regents. Like the Boltons. The Boltons, the High Towers kind of were the ones that really rivaled the Tyrells, but I like the Tarleys. Tarleys are where it's at. I'd be so cool if Tarleys ruled the Reach and if the Manderleys ruled the North, but they don't worship the old god, so that could never happen.
Oh, I think that the Tarleys already will, because when we had the cutscene on, at least show-wise, because when we had the cutscene when Jaime was, when he was when they were talking, he's like, "Oh, I think you would be the perfect warden of the South. She's going to need a new one." Then it cut to Sam. And Marie, no, it hasn't been put in the link on there because I was having problems with my phone, and the only place I got it on was Hangouts. So it's not on Facebook at all.
I would just love to see all, like, the Seven Kingdoms become Seven Kingdoms once again, and all the High Lords get thrown from their high horses.
That's exactly what I want. I don't think that the great houses will be, I think they're going to be wiped. Because if you think about it, once upon a time, we had all these great houses before, like Mud and all those, and they disappeared. So history repeats itself. And I think that's what's going to happen. Like Danny's talking about breaking the will. I think, we're already seeing it happen. The Tyrells are gone.
Well, who's left to carry on the Lannister line? You got a woman in Cersei who's she's pretty much done making babies. Jaime's not going to go get married. Lancel's he's joined the faith. Like, there's no more Lannisters to carry on. Tyrion, can't really see him having kids. Tyrek, isn't that like a big, like, isn't like he's
a question mark. We don't even know if he's
alive.
He
disappeared during the bread riot, so we haven't seen him since, right?
Right. He's a big question mark. There's he might be in Bravos, maybe questionable theory, but
this could be some Viserys II shit hiding in freaking lease until everything's cooled down and he comes back and is ransomed for a kingdom.
Right.
Or who was Richard the Lionheart was pretty known for bankrupting the kingdom when he was ransomed from Austria.
And I mean, even if Gendry, I mean, ended up somehow, but
well, if you think about it, the House Baratheon was founded by a bastard. So if it was, once again, like, it would be like it's coming full circle in a sense.
Right, because he is a bastard too.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't even think that'll
But
happen.
Robert's got no true-born daughters for him to marry. Like, there's no true-born Baratheon for him to marry.
Oh, I think him and Arya are kind of destined because of back to the very beginning. When
I have a daughter, you have a son. Let's unite our houses.
Yeah.
I like it. It's like a great. I think it's more like one of those fanfic things. Like, it would be great if it happened, but no one gets a happy ending.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think they'll get a happy ending. I just think they're meant to get together.
The only happy ending I foresee that everyone tells me I'm crazy for this is the happy ending of Sansa and Tyrion.
Yeah, no, I think that too.
She'll be happy and she's gonna go rule the Westerlands as Lady of Casterly Rock because the younger, more beautiful queen will take everything you love, and she's the more younger, beautiful queen of Casterly Rock.
Yeah, no, and I for a fact, I want the last thing Cersei sees before she dies to be Sansa.
Oh,
well, I think that would be great.
So I say it like this, I sound like a Supreme Court nominee. Like, there's so much precedent set for them getting back together because after Maegor married his second wife, he was forced by the faith to take his first wife back or go into exile. He chose exile. But the precedent is set over and over again in Westeros history that you can't have two wives. And your first wife is your true wife, and the second one is just invalid. So no matter how many times Sansa gets remarried, she's still married to Tyrion.
Right.
I just feel like the precedent was set by Maegor, and that's the precedent that they'll use, just like the precedent set in the Great Council of 101 AC.
Right. I agree.
I feel like a Supreme Court nominee, though. I just keep saying precedent.
Well, they like to bring up the Council of 101. They did it. We were talking about that earlier about how they did it.
Oh, the Council of Anti-Feminists? Yeah.
Yeah. And they did it with Rhaenys.
Rhaenys was the eldest daughter of their firstborn son.
Right. And
Balon. Was it Balon? Bricks? No. Balon.
It wasn't Balon Bricks.
Daron. The Daring?
The
one that was killed by a pirate.
Yeah, Aemon and Balon were the brothers.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I think Balon was first. So yeah,
he was killed by pirates. He was killed by pirates.
And then Aemon got killed on the island. Yeah.
I think his wife was also she was half Valyrian, half Baratheon because she was the daughter of
Alyssa
and her second
Rogar.
husband.
Yeah. She was really badass too. And you speak about Baratheon. Baratheon's not a Valyrian name, but because the Baratheons, well, I guess it would be actually because Oris Baratheon
is rumored. It's never officially said, but he's rumored to be the bastard son of Aegon's father. And do you know Aegon's father? What's his name? That's another trivia question.
Oh God. You're making me go backwards again. Those are the ones that I always get stuck on too. Aenys, is it something? No.
You got the A right.
Well, it's always an A.
Not always.
No, I ain't even gonna try and guess because
Aryan.
Aryan. Yeah, like Aryan Bright Flame.
Yep. Because this is what happens after the Doom up into Aegon the First. You got Aenys the Exile, Aenar the Exile, followed by Gaemon the Glorious, and then he was husband to Daenys, and then their son Aegon, and then their son Maegor, his brother Aerys, and then his three sons in succession. The youngest son Daemon is the grandfather to Aegon the Conqueror.
And that was all before.
Mm-hmm.
That was just how long they were there before they decided to conquer Westeros.
So that, according to this, we have 6 generations in between, including Aenar the Exile.
And they were rumored, like Aegon and his sisters were rumored to have like been to the High Tower and to Casterly Rock and all over.
Well, there is a record of them. That was a question. No more a question. There is a record of them going to Old Town, and there's rumors of them going to Lannisport. There's no hard record of it, but there's hard records of them at Old Town.
Right. Yeah. And that's another thing I got kind of upset about being cut from the show was the High Towers. Because it seems like they're a Valyrian stock.
You should listen to Tana Ford. Do you know who Westeros Wheneverly is?
No.
Okay.
I don't know that one.
It is Tana Ford and Dave, forgot his last name. But Tana Ford, she's a Marvel artist. She actually does like Silk, the something Moon. I forget her name, but like it's a Marvel thing. She's a Marvel artist, but she does a podcast with her friend Dave, and she has this whole theory where she calls the High Towers. They're called Dawnish, spelled Dawn-ish, because she believes that they are from ancient Empire of the Dawn. Like, she has this whole thing about how the High Towers aren't Westerosi and like how their bloodline is so much different. I think you would agree with what she says. She calls them Dawnish, spelled Dawn.
Right. And well, that's like the Danes too. The Danes are the same sort of way. Which is kind of weird because I think that's kind of where
I'm actually going to send you a link.
Came from too. I think the Valaryens are from Dawnish.
Yeah, she was the first person I've ever heard come up with that name, the Dawnish. Yeah. She's calling them. Yeah, they are great. They're one of my favorite podcasts out there. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't listened to them in a while, but I've worked with them before. They're great. They're called Westeros Whenever. They were supposed to be Westeros Weekly, but they weren't consistent, so they changed themselves to Westeros Wheneverly.
Wheneverly, I like that. I'll check that one out. Yeah, they definitely would have been cool. And then we were talking a little while ago too about whether or not that we think that when Meraxes went down in Hellholt, if she survived or not.
Well, I like the theories that she didn't, but I don't know how like realistic it is.
Yeah, because this is the romantic side of it for me, because she felt the way she did about singers and love and you know, just all that other stuff. And it talks about how Aegon loved her. You know, he married
Visenya out of duty and Rhaenys out of desire.
And Rhaenys out of desire, exactly. So it makes me think maybe she went down there because of love. Maybe she actually fell in love there.
I don't like that theory because then that would make her a whore.
Yeah, she kind of was a little one with all the singers around.
Well, it's. I think that's just more Winter's writing history, and she died, and Visenya's the one who lived forever, so she got to write whatever the fuck she wanted about her.
Do you think Visenya really died?
Well, she did die. Yeah, Visenya died. That was legit. Like, she died in Dragonstone. Like, she just of old age.
Yeah, it says that. It said that she was like old crony looking and all that, but Maegor didn't even come see her body burned.
Yeah, wasn't he busy fighting the faith?
Yeah, but
she died during his reign.
Still, and I know they said that they put her body, ashes, whatever was left of her, next to Aegon and all that at Dragonstone. But it just makes me wonder because of all the stuff that she was up to, and we know other old ladies that kind of can disguise themselves. And it just made me wonder, especially because he didn't show up. And it wasn't too long after that he got killed by the throne either.
She should have got remarried. She should have just got remarried and kept going on with her life.
Should have. Like, yeah, like the what was it, Elaine Costain?
Oh,
Eleanor Costain.
that's the one who found him dead on the throne.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet that's my mom calling, not answering.
That was a little suspicious that she found them too. I still got questions on what really happened. I don't think the throne just kind of turned on its own. I think that's where the magic came in.
Do you think he was murdered?
Oh yeah, definitely.
By whom?
Well, that's like the big question, because all right, he had already killed.
Man is the most realistic answer and the easiest cop out. Like, you know, it was
Yeah.
Faceless Men. Boom, problem
But
solved.
that's the cop out. Yeah, it's an easy cop out. I think it has to be one of the people that dabbled in sorcery, because of how they said the throne went through him. So I think it was someone that could manipulate it. Because all right, is he done killed Tyene, right? Of the tower, you know.
Yes.
I don't know. Does Costains do anything like that? That's why I questioned Vicinia's if her
I
death
think
was
she was
real.
the only wife he had left because Queen Dykes-a-Lot had fled, I think, right? Or was she still there?
No, I think she was still there too.
So she only had 2 wives left because Jane Westerling died, Elise Hightower died, Tiana died. Who else was there? There's another wife. His first wife, the Hightower. Was she still alive?
Yeah, she wasn't. Yeah, she was being cool, but because he made okay with her when he went back to Old Town.
Well, because he fucking embarrassed the fuck out of this woman. This poor woman.
know. Everyone had a reason to kill him.
Alice Haraway was my favorite of the Black Brides because she is my Anne Boleyn of Westeros.
Yeah, no, I think so too. She is.
Just like her entire story, her like it's so Anne Boleyn.
Yeah, and she did die. You're right. Yeah.
You know, I have a point that people I like to bring up. I don't know if I still have the notes. People like to compare like certain kings, Westeros to European kings, and the comparison that's made the most is Aegon the Unworthy is compared to Henry VIII. But I actually would like to contradict that because I think Aegon the Unworthy was nothing like what's his face, because Henry VIII was known. Wait, hold up. He was known for his wives, but Henry VIII. Okay. Let me rephrase this. I had it written down. Henry VIII was most like King Edward. I think that's what it was. Who had no. Yeah, they always compare him to Henry VIII. I think he's more like King Edward, who had the most children of any king. That's what he's known for. Edward, I had it written down. I can't find it.
The one with all the babies.
Yeah, he was known for having the most children, but people wrongly compare him to Henry VIII, who was known for not having children.
Yeah, I think Maegor is definitely the Henry the VIII.
Okay, Henry the First, who had the most children. Here it is, and then you can also compare him to Ramses II.
See, I was thinking about, you said, I know you went Egyptian there. As soon as you said Ramsey, though, I thought Ramsey.
Yeah, well, Ramses the Great is said to have, like, out of any monarch in history, next to, like, Genghis Khan, to have, like, the most children.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he's known for. He had, like, 100 and something kids.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. He had, like, 100 kids, I know. I remember, well, never mind, that was Ramses III. I was going to say, I remember seeing, like, whenever they came through at the museum and brought Ramses stuff. It was actually really cool. I went on a field trip there when I was a kid. Speaking of Ramses, okay. But no, I do. I think Maegor is more like Henry, especially like you said with Anne Boleyn, with Alice.
Yeah.
And he was in all the different Black Brides, because it's like he didn't get his way. And it's like, yeah, no, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. So I'm going to change it. And how he dealt with the faith, because Henry went and he's like,
He started the Anglican Church.
Yeah.
The Church of England, because he was excommunicated.
Right, because he wanted the divorce. He's like, I can't get what I want, so I'm going to start my own church. I don't care, you know? So
And the Church of England is still, really popular. Called the Midwife, it's an Anglican church. I fucking love that show.
Yeah. And I haven't watched that one yet either. That's what I'm waiting for it to get more so I can
Marie's
just
the one
it.
who turned me on to that show. Well, there's like 7 seasons of Call the Midwife.
Is there now?
Oh yeah, it's binge worthy.
Okay, good.
I wonder
because I like to think that you're crazy. I get upset when it's
it just makes you cry. The whole point of that show is to make you cry. But I love it. It's so good. But you just cry every episode.
I love anything like historical.
Downton Abbey too. That's the other one.
I watched that one.
Makes you cry.
Okay, you compare it to Downton Abbey, I'm down. Yeah.
Yeah. It's around it's during the baby boom. It's really good.
Yeah, I love that one. And I'll tell you what, because Matthew on there is the guy on Legion. That's Dan Stevens.
He is.
And I cannot stand Matthew.
Oh, it's season 8 starts on Thursday. Fuck yeah.
And I was like, and I didn't even realize it was him at first. And then I was like, that was Matthew?
It took me a bit. I'm like, this actor looks really familiar. So I IMDb'd his ass.
Oh, he was the Beast on Beauty and the Beast too.
Yes. I IMDb'd his ass. I'm like, I know that face.
Right?
I'm like, you're cousin Matthew.
Yeah. Cousin Matthew. I know. See? They did it on Downton Abbey too. It's not that weird. Apparently, I guess.
Well, no, they're very distant. They were like third cousins, so.
Yeah, something like that.
Child was still inbred.
Oh, I don't do Lifetime. I grew out of that a long time ago.
Lifetime is really popular because of that R. Kelly thing.
What is R. Kelly doing on Lifetime?
No, I don't want to talk about it too much. It's he's being accused of a lot of bad things in the 6-part documentary about what he's being accused of.
We were sitting there, it was like day before yesterday, and just being silly, and started singing, and we were like, my mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes. And we're like, hindsight, that dude had problems way back then. If we would have known he was talking about a 15-year-old.
He I don't want to talk about it too much, but he married Aaliyah when she was 15. Red flags were there. The red flags were there.
Yeah, I remember that.
But people are losing their minds because his music is getting popular. He just sold out concert tickets because, they'll start talking about him like R. Kelly is being accused of all these awful things, and they start playing his catchiest song he's ever written. And so all day you're freaking walking around singing Ignition, thinking about all the awful things he did.
Yeah, no. He's an idiot. He's just an idiot. I can only think of a few songs that were ever even good. But yeah, they take on a whole new meaning when you really start thinking about it.
Uh-huh. But I don't want to talk about that too much because I try to avoid that kind of stuff.
We'll go back to the queens and the kings now. Let's get back to Westeros.
Who do you think was the best queen of West? You think Alysanne, because you mentioned her earlier.
Oh yeah, I love Alysanne. And I want to go back to Maegor real quick. Just a thought. Rhaenyra could have been the one that done it.
Oh, Queen Dykes-a-Lot? That's what I'm calling her.
Queen
That is her name.
Yeah, Queen Dykes-a-Lot. Yeah, she could have been the one that done it because she was one of his brides. And she wanted to be queen. She was kind of bitchy about Jaehaerys and Alysanne and all that because she was married to Aegon.
Her daughter wanted to be queen. The one that took off with Valerian. Maybe she doesn't.
Oh, yeah, that was kind of scary, too. Do you think that was what we hear about fireworms, like where Septon birth and all?
Well, they said that, in the book, they explained that she wanted to go home, but Valerian's home because he was the only dragon left that was born in Valaryia. So it would make sense that he would go there instinctively like a sea turtle. You know, maybe he had to go lay some eggs because I am so pro Barth with dragons change sex.
Yeah, no,
because honestly, Barth has to be right because Dany has 3 dragons that are all presumed male.
And so she just named them after her brothers, though. She don't know what they are.
Yeah, they're all presumed male, but one of them is going to have to change sex, or those are going to be the last 3 dragons ever.
Speaking of that, whenever we hear during the Dance of the Dragons about the last 3 dragons dying, it's kind of described as like a mating dance.
And that's when the dragons truly danced.
Yeah, when they
Second battle of Tumbleton.
Yep.
Vermithor versus Sea Snake.
Yes. Yes.
I was just reading that.
Yeah, and do you think that's what it was, though?
No,
Oh, maybe. Well, because they knew that the dragons were dying, and they're like, hey, let's make babies or we're fucked.
Right. And then the other one just kind of went to jump in because he was like the old dominant male at that point.
Well, there were 3
or
dragons.
whatever,
Right.
you know.
Because Vermithor attacked the small dragon.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of that dragon. Because you had Vermithor was the bastard. It's like the one that they all wanted to kill.
Right.
He had Vermithor, and then the Valerian had Sea Smoke, and then there was a third. What was the other dragon? Oh! It was Queen Elisane's.
Yeah, Silverwing.
Silver. I always get these Quicksilver and Silverwing confused all the time.
Yeah. Silverwing.
Yeah.
And yeah, they went in there and
Tricerion. Tricerion was there too.
Yeah, Tricerion, yeah.
Daemon the Daring.
And it was described, and they said it was very beautiful what was happening until Vermithor came in, and then it was just like it all went bad. But that's what I thought about, especially because Vermithor went after the little one too. It's like it was just trying to exert its dominance and kind of get up in there or something.
I gotta say, I was pretty shocked when I was reading Fire and Blood, and they had a little quick cameo of Nettles.
Yeah.
I was like, the fan theories have already begun, because I'm reading this book 2 weeks after it came out. I'm like, oh, the fan theories are real.
Now, do you think that's his daughter or his lover?
The whole daughter thing, I hope not, because they seemed like lovers.
The only thing that made me think...
Well, Daemon was known for being on the Stepstones and liking them bitches, so it makes sense.
Yeah, and it does. But when they're at Lord Mooton's castle, Maidenpool, there we go.
Yeah.
I think for a minute. And the way that it's described, how he treats her, like they act like father and daughter, and the way he gifts her stuff all the time. And like they say, it doesn't even act like there's anything weird going on.
Well, maybe they were just, if she had to have been dragon seed. There's no question. Well, there's theories that she just gave him sheep, but she was more than likely a dragon seed. So they were probably just distant relatives, and he's like, hey, we're family.
Right. Maybe he might have just been looking out for her more than anything.
Well,
it made me curious because I've always assumed they were just lovers.
Well, they were also really racist back then too, and she was darker skinned, so maybe think about the way they talk about the Dothraki and like the Lyseni they treat it. They have awful things to say about foreigners.
Right, but that makes sense though. Even with him when he was on the Stepstones, that could have been when she was conceived.
Yeah, well, because he had that whore that miscarried that he gave the dragon egg to, and Viserys lost his shit.
The White Worm.
So maybe who knows? I'm sure there's a theory out there that she never miscarried. So we know he was fertile, and he loved the bitches.
Yeah, he did, and Rhaenyra just seemed to be okay with it. Well,
what was the joke that she liked her own pleasures, which were food?
Yeah. After a while, I swear, her and Aegon reminded me of Hansel and Gretel. That was my best description for the Dance of the Dragons when I got into reading it. It's like at the beginning of it, when she was younger and everything, I loved her, and it was like the picture of her in A World of Ice and Fire,
The Realm's Delight.
The Realm's Delight. She was sweet. She was beautiful. She was wonderful. But then somewhere along there, she just turned into...
Well, she had kids, too.
Well, she did have kids. And, I expect people to get bigger when they have kids. But it's like they just kind of said, no, I don't care anymore. And she just turned into... kind of like they describe Lysa in the new books,
Oh, and yeah, huh? Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, like she was just really fat and didn't care and just sat around bitching all the time. And the way that you hear about Aegon, he sounds like that anyways. So it's like, I just picture them as Hansel and Gretel.
Aegon was pretty crazy at the end, though, man. Like when he was saying that Aegon must be killed or castrated, Aegon the Third, like he was fucking... He wanted blood. He's like, the war is over, but everyone still needs to die.
Yeah, he had problems.
He listened to his mom too much.
And I can't stand her. Alicent Hightower, her and her dad. I think she was placed there with Viserys to begin with.
Yeah, it was all meant to be that way.
Yeah, it reminded me of Tywin bringing Cersei to court, kind of for, the same reasons. And how he pushed her, first tried to push her onto Rhaegar, that didn't work, then tried to push her onto Robert, They were just they were the number 2 family, or trying to be, because, they were at the time, because
their wealth was rivaling
Valaryia.
that of Highgarden. They might have been richer.
Yeah.
And they were definitely more ancient.
They were more powerful, yeah, because they were that old, And yeah, Highgarden was still kind of building at that time, I would think, because when Aegon first got there, the Tyrells were just taking over after the Field of Fire, so I guess they would still be building, huh?
Well, a lot of people look down at the Tyrells as up-jump squires. Cersei says it in her internal monologue all the time. Like, a lot of older houses in the Reach really dislike them. They think that there's I think the Florins, a couple of them claim that it was their right by blood. Like, they were more related to the Gardeners, and they should have been the lords of Highgarden, and it shouldn't have been the Tyrells.
Felicia still does. She still thinks she's better than everybody, and it's their right to the throne because of. Oh, I don't like that woman either. But it just, and it wasn't till Chorus. I don't know why I said it. You know who I'm talking about? Him, Valerion, the one that went on Sea Snake, that went on all his
Corlys Valerian, yeah.
Corlys, there we go. When he went on all his voyages, that he actually started getting rich and made House Valerion
rival the
Lannisters. So,
and how convenient a civil war started right as he was being the richest person in the world. How convenient.
Right. And
you know what? This is all Viserys. Viserys should have known that shit was going to go down when he died. He knew that people were PO'd about his decision.
But here's the thing. It's like they said all these lords had pledged to her that she would be queen, but most of them by this point had died. He may have been blinded by whatever bullshit Alicent and her dad was giving him. He already got rid of her dad, right?
Yeah, he had dismissed him as hand. I think.
So why he was even there, who knows? Do you think that Alicent poisoned Viserys?
No.
Because he had his little hypocrites every night at a certain time, and then they didn't tell anybody. It's kind of like they were expecting it.
I don't think Alicent wanted the war. Not Alicent.
Alicent.
Alicent. I don't think she wanted the war. I think she just knew it was inevitable. I don't think she would have quickened it.
Yeah.
But even towards her end, she was telling her granddaughter to stab him when he's sleeping. Stab him in the neck while he's sleeping, And she's like, why? Freaking her out. She would cry and have to be removed. She was a feisty one till the end. She never gave up.
Yeah, no. Yeah, and she actually outlived all her children and all that other stuff. I remember them talking about that.
Yeah, that was her when she died. And then I was like, wait a second. Oh, wait, Jaehaera's her granddaughter. I found another mistake. Nope.
I know, I was doing that too. And it's kind of funny because at the end, then, we get Aegon on the throne, which was Rhaenyra's son to begin with. So it's like it didn't matter because one of her children ended up as the heir.
It's like Maegor. Everything you did was for naught because it wasn't your line that succeeded in the end.
Yeah, all it did was destroy all the dragons and kill all the Targaryens.
Well, you know what? They did not so far because when Blood and Fire ends, Fire and Blood, I keep saying it backwards. When it ends, Morning is still a dragon and Morning's still alive.
Yeah, and then you got the ones.
Does it say how? Do we know how Morning dies? Because she's big enough to ride. Because Baela's twin sister is riding her.
Right.
at the end of Fire and Blood. So how do we know how this dragon died? Milt, you know all about this shit.
Yeah, that's what I was looking.
Yeah, because Morning, and then you had the last dragon that never got a name.
Yeah, and I was thinking about Sheep Stealer and Cannibal too. We also don't know what happened to them.
Yeah,
and Silverwing he
Ghost
says too.
Yeah. Well,
And-
when they said a dragon and it was Nettles, I did not think. I thought it was going to be the one that took off after Tumbleton. So when they said Nettles, I was like, whoa, did not see that coming.
Right? Yeah.
Like a little brown shadow. And I was like, yeah, it's one of those dragons. It wasn't Vermithor, brown. So then they said Nettles. And I was like, oh, I did not put those together at all.
See, this is why I think there's dragons still around. I don't believe that the Dany's dragons are the only dragons. Plus, we heard about all the dragon eggs on Dragonstone still. They talk about it so much.
Well, there's a great theory that has spawned from Fire and Blood because Queen Dyksalot's girlfriend takes off with her eggs.
Mm-hmm.
And she sells them to Bravos. And I don't know if they ever get the eggs back, but I like the theory that those are Dany's eggs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I thought that as soon as I heard that. Which
I'm like,
I think George R. Martin
huh?
said that we'd hear the origin of Dany's eggs from this book anyway.
Because there's another theory that her eggs are from Summerhall too. Or that one of the eggs that Egg describes his egg. Pun intended. And it's all white and green and swirly like. And there's a white and green dragon, right? Or I wonder what.
He describes he describes Aemon's, he describes Darren's, and he describes Arian's.
Yeah, he describes his as green and white, all swirly like. That was like the exact quote, all swirly like.
Right.
I really like that line.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it was one of them he described. I want to say it was Arian's maybe, but one of them he described as being black and with scarlet and I think gold through it too or something.
Yeah, because and then what are the two eggs or the egg from the Tornia Whitehalls? That one's described in detail too.
Oh yeah. And that one actually came from
Aegon the Unworthy because he got to despoil his daughters.
Yeah, he wanted to go bang his daughters. So that makes me wonder what else, how many other dragon eggs did he give away?
Seriously, how many is like, oh, your daughter's hot. How about an egg?
Right?
That's definitely worth the dowry though. And then some.
Yeah, but
and the father's supposed to give the dowry, so this guy is just winning on both ends.
Well, think about it. We know that the plums have dragon blood in them.
A drop on top of another drop, probably 2 drops.
So they could possibly have dragon eggs, or a couple. But just all these, and bringing up Summerhall, I fully think, and there's nothing to convince me otherwise, that dragon eggs did hatch there. I think that they did succeed. I think that's probably what Rhaegar was doing there, is probably playing with little baby dragons.
Where?
At Summerhall.
Oh.
I think that they did succeed.
I think. Well, have you seen? Oh, you are clearly a Preston Jacobs fan, so you've seen his genealogy. Series.
Yeah.
I like the whole. You need dragon riders and dragon hatchers.
Yes.
I think that's I don't know how he did this, or the way he put it down to a way that I believe everything he says.
Yeah, no, I do too.
He's got me 100% convinced.
Yeah. Did you watch the one on Craster's Kids too?
Oh, I've seen all his videos.
Me too.
I'm not up to date on the latest ones, but yeah.
Oh, John, the Night's Watch one about John's killing and with 1-1. Yeah, go watch it. You'll like it. There's a football reference in there too, I'll tell you.
He's got one too where it's Sam scheming for getting John elected.
Yeah, yep. It's a whole Night's Watch series now.
Yeah, I like Preston. It's just I was always like YouTube addicted, but now that I do the YouTube, I don't watch as much.
And yeah, now that I'm doing, there's still ones that I watch all the time, but it's like I've seen like pretty much everything on the channel. So now I just look for the ones. It's like, okay, yeah, I'll go watch that one. They got a new one, and I'll listen to them usually like first thing in the morning or when I'm going to bed at night.
Yeah, before it was I couldn't upload fast enough, and now they're uploading too often, and I can't keep up.
Yeah, that's me. And I subscribe to so many. So
what were we talking about? We got that was a mean tangent.
oh yeah. Let's talk about Princess what Dykes-a-Lot is
Queen Dykes-a-Lot. Queen Dykes-a-Lot.
She had some crazy stuff going on. She did marry an Aegon.
She married Aegon the Uncrowned. That is what he was known on. Who
died in the Riverlands. She should have died with him, but she didn't go.
Let's talk about Aegon the Uncrowned. Aegon the Uncrowned is the second-born son of Aenys and his wife Alyssa, married to Rhaena, Queen Dykes-a-Lot, and they had twin daughters. And he died at the battle beneath the God's Eye. I always get which one's above, which one's beneath.
Yeah, this one's beneath.
Fighting against Maegor the Cruel on his father's dragon, Quicksilver.
And Maegor and Valaryia just destroyed him and his dragon.
But I gotta say, he fought for his father's throne on his father's dragon. That's fucking beautiful.
Yeah, it was. It was really sad. I got really upset about just that part happening because he was young and he was on his father's dragon and he had all the lords supporting him and it was his throne. He was literally usurped by his uncle. And Maegor was messed up. Maegor's pretty badass, but Maegor was just dead wrong in this. And it really was a just whole cruel thing that happened. And Rhaena, she was supposed to be with him. And he left her behind.
He wanted to marry. They were trying to, Visenya tried to marry Rhaena, Queen Dykes-a-Lot, to Maegor when she was like a baby.
Right. She did. She wanted her to marry him and promised to him early on. And she was the one.
And that's when the Citadel's like, no, the Sept's like, nope, here, quick, marry my daughter. Like, the High Septon's niece or something.
And when they actually got married, then Aenys took a lot of crap because of it. Mm-hmm. That's when it kind of started with the faith and everyone started to turn against him when he had Aegon and her married.
Do you think this would have happened if Visenya or Rhaenys ever had a daughter that would have married Aenys or Maegor? Do you think the same outcry would have happened with the Conqueror still alive with his dragons?
No, not with the Conqueror still alive.
So you think it's just because Aenys was perceived as a weak king?
Yeah. Which he was a pushover. He was very indecisive. He couldn't stand behind his decisions. He questioned everything.
They said something like he was more likely to side with whoever talked to him last.
Yeah. Yeah. He didn't know what he was doing. Alyssa had more her shit together better than he did. And yeah, it was just a matter of time. And then he gives the sword to Maegor. I mean, I get the gesture. I get that he was trying to share rule with his brother, and it was a wonderful gesture, but it was the biggest mistake he
should have seen his brother's ambitions. He was too blind. Like, he couldn't see the wrong. He couldn't see what everyone else saw plainly.
He had them rose-colored glasses on is what it was.
Lyanna Mormont, top 5 moments. When she dies of grayscale. Fucking hate Lyanna Mormont so much. It would be great. Like, we get like some movies, like that movie Clue, there's like 3 alternate endings. I'd like 5 alternate killings of Lyanna Mormont, please.
Jorah's gonna get her because she's gonna try to get him to turn against Dany.
I just always hated her. I had no reason to believe that she would die. I just don't like her. And I'm like, well, Jorah Mormont's got grayscale. He's gonna go home, reunite with his niece, give her a hug, and she's gonna contract the disease. Die. Die, Lyanna Mormont, die. So, and then I'm thinking about it, like, logically, like, what's like a feasible way she could die? Because I just want her to. And honestly, she has that letter. The North knows no king whose name is not Stark. He just bent his knee to someone who's not Stark. She is gonna be fucking pissed.
Oh, yeah, she is. And just, you know what? She made me mad whenever she got all sassy with him supporting him because he was going down there. The king of the North needs to remain in the North.
I hate her so much. And I've explained my reason for disliking her so many times, but I'm a big Manderly fan.
Oh, I love the Manderlys.
I love my Lord Too Fat to Sit a Horse. And this bitch goes and takes his speech they fucking paraphrase his speech, they dilute it, and they have her diss him in the process. So
they don't give them enough credit.
She will never be forgiven for dissing my Lord Mandalay with his own bastardization of his speech. Nope, fuck that noise.
Yeah, no, they totally screwed the Manderleys in the show.
I love the Manderleys. Manderleys are one of my favorite houses.
Mine too.
Tarly and Manderley are my two favorite houses. No question.
Tarly I like, but I don't like Randall. I
love
a thing
Randall.
Randall.
Pisses
me off.
I always loved him, and I don't know what it is. This is awful, and I'm like such a feminist for me saying this, but he has that scene. He has that scene in the book where he meets Brienne, and he just tells her off.
Book Randall's different.
Yeah,
Book Randall's different.
Yeah, Book Randall tells her off and tells her she needs a good raping and she'll learn her lesson. And I'm like, oh man, I really like this guy.
Yeah, he talks a lot of smack in the book. I like that.
And then that scene where he's just fucking telling her pretty much to go fuck herself. He's not helping her at all, and she gets what she deserves. And I'm like, yeah, man, I love this character. And that's what made me love Randall Tarly.
In the show, though, I love it when he gets burned. And I'll tell you why, because he's a dick to Sam, and then he's talking about, well, if you want me to make them move faster and with carrying the gold, I can always flog them. And Jaime's just like, no, that's okay.
That's not necessary.
Flog him, burn his ass. Yeah.
Is it just me, or do they actually make Randall more of an ass in the show? If that's even possible?
No, they make him more of an ass.
Well, this is why I hate Danny right now, because I love Randall. I mean, dude, that's not his name. I love Randall. He's one of my favorite characters. And I never cared too much for Dickon, but I always knew he had to die in order for my favorite character to get his birthright of Highgarden.
Yeah, he was.
No, I mean of Thornhill. So I always I'm like
he might end up with Highgarden at this point because there's nobody there.
And I'm like, in one way or another, Dickon is gonna have to die. But the way they did it in the show, she's stupid, because Randall Tarly, it was at the moment in the show, is the greatest living general there is. He's the only one who ever beat Robert. Like, he is the best general. And why would you burn the best general alive?
Well, she probably doesn't realize that. But it was to make an example, and he even said flat out, "You're not my queen. I'm not going to listen to you." So
should have thrown him in a jail cell and made him wait.
That. Well, she's a mother. She's breaker of change. She don't want anybody in jail cells. I understood her point, because then everybody want that choice, and she needed them to be on her side, not to go, "Oh, I want to be a prisoner." She didn't need prisoners. She needed soldiers, people to join her. So I get that point.
That is not going to help your morale by burning their leader.
Yeah. But
ruling by fear is no better than what?
Is it better to be feared or loved? It's one of them cases.
I don't know.
At that point, but she could have burned them all. She didn't. She gave them a choice. He made his choice, and that was it.
I think it was the wrong choice.
Yeah, it was the wrong choice. But he's dumbass in
the scene, like you see the look on Tyrion's face. He's like, "Oh fuck, what'd I get into here?" Like, I think I made a mistake.
See, and that's why I think I'm worried about Tyrion, because Tyrion watched his entire house getting destroyed. And the Dothraki even says there and says, yeah, your men really suck. And they're not good at fighting, And he's watching his house get destroyed. That's kind of where I worry about what Tyrion's going to do.
Do you think I have heard this theory that his loyalty to his house is more than his loyalty to Dany, because in the books they haven't met yet. Like the whole Dany Tyrion thing, like I am waiting for it to happen in the books.
I think if Jaime gets to him soon enough, maybe there's some hope, but if not, then I don't know. And book Tyrion, no, that's different. But
Tyrion is like a very bad person.
Yeah, he's a lot darker.
He was peeping on the septic chick while she was like taking a bath. Like,
yeah. He's a lot darker. He's a little dirty perv too.
Yeah.
Let me say a shout out to over here in chat real quick. I see. Okay, Milk, you've been hanging out with us for a while. Thank you, Dara. Dog, what's up, dog? Marie, how's Sanchez? Hey, Sanchi. AU Pack Mule, we got you with us today too. and Nancy. It's always fun with Nancy and Connie.
Guys,
I'm
come
trying
on.
to scroll and see if I'm missing anyone. If I'm missing you, thank you anyways for coming. We appreciate everybody. We are having fun talking about. Oh, Chrissy, I see you, Chrissy. Hey, doll. And Candy's there too. Okay. I had to scroll for a minute. Sword in the Darkness. Oh, yeah. Let's not forget you, D. I ain't gonna forget you.
Oh, Sword, my boyfriend's got a nickname for you. He's been calling you Dagger in the Light. He thinks he is so clever for that, by the way.
She's Lightbringer. We need to start calling her Lightbringer now.
Well, you missed it. I don't know if you were there last week for my trivia questions. I made pictograms and I threw pictures of people in there. So I did like Sword of the Morning with Sword's picture, House Merryweather with Mary. Like I take liberties with their pictures and I never ask permission.
Mill said, I'm voting for Jamie Sam ticket in 2020 for Lord Commander. Me too. I like that one. Yeah, well, I think Jamie's going to end up like Night's Watch because we hear a lot about his we were talking about the Catelyn chapter Thursday at book club and about how his scarlet cloak turned black, and like when at the first season he's shaking John's hand where John's talking about he's joining Night's Watch and he's like, oh, is it we already? And just little things like that. It's like we've seen his cloak go from white to scarlet and it's just progressively getting darker.
Mm-hmm. I always liked the theory that Stannis would join the Night's Watch, but I'm pretty sure he's dead, huh? Like I was in denial after that episode aired. I'm like, no, he's fine. He's totally gonna survive in the books. Same with Rickon. I was like in complete denial that this is gonna be their fate in the books, and I'm slowly accepting it.
You know, I wonder if Rickon's even alive in the books because
honestly, my headcanon for the longest time has been. Now it's like it's gonna be fucked up for me to say this, but my headcanon before the show was always that Rickon would marry Lyanna Mormont.
That would be good, actually.
Because Manderly's gonna get him. Manderly's gonna, rule in his name, and then he'll have him married to his grandchild who's about the same age. And then, they'll be Lord and Lady of Winterfell. That was my headcanon for years. And now the show's happened. I absolutely hate Lyanna Mormont, so that changed all that. And Rickon, dead. So that's always been my headcanon. And I am having a hard time accepting that that's not a possibility anymore.
Do you think he'll come back crazy?
Well, Shaggy, maybe he overworked Shaggy, and that's why he's going apeshit. Because Shaggy is a wild dog. He's a wild wolf, so maybe he's overwarging, and he's starting to take on the aspects of the wolf.
That's what I wonder, and especially because like the Skagosi are like cannibals and stuff too. So how he's been living up there. So there's no telling what kind of Rickon we're gonna get back if he's already that wild.
They're probably venising him and lying about what it is.
Maybe, yeah.
Because what boy is gonna be like, yeah, I ate my best friend last week. He was delicious.
Right. Oh, speaking of that real quick, I want to bring this up and then we'll get back on our Targaryens again. When Alistair Thorne was talking to John and Sam about the winter that came, the last one where he got 6 months beyond the wall and basically they had to start eating each other. And he really wished that Sam would have been there because they could eat off of him for a long time. It made me think of the winter that's here now and if we're going to see them get to that point about how the horses go first and then they have to start eating each other.
An abomination.
Right. And it is, yeah, for the wargs, definitely. I wonder just how bad it's going to get.
Well, as currently, Sam's still chilling in the south, so he's safe. No one's going to eat Sir Biggie.
Oh, no, he's back at Winterfell now, remember?
Well, I'm going by books.
You're going in the books, yeah.
I tell you, show is fake news. D&D alternative facts.
It is. It is.
Kellyanne Conway wrote that shit.
Yeah. I agree. Oh, okay. So we
I
were
try
talking
to
about,
avoid the political jokes. I try to.
yeah. I like all jokes. You ain't about me. Okay, so we were talking about Aegon and Rhaenyra, and she ended up just kind of. They were actually hiding with the Lannisters for a while. Kind of wore out their welcome there a little bit, and then she ended up on Fair Isle.
Yeah, and that's where she met her girlfriend.
Yep, her girlfriend, who she married her
Younger brother, and he was kind of not all there.
Yeah, he was kind of slow, and I honestly wondered if maybe he was a little fly or something. Because sometimes he seemed like he was interested in her, and sometimes it seemed like he was interested in not women at all.
Well, that would make sense. That would actually be a perfect pairing for them.
Right. Like a marriage of convenience. That way she could just be around.
They can do what they want and just pretend like they're a married couple. I'm sure that was done a lot back in the day.
Right, right. But it even talks about how she took all her friends, all the girlfriends. They had their own little girl crew going on.
Yep.
And they kind of dominated the Fair Isle. And she took all of them for a ride on the dragon, but never him.
Nope. Yeah. And then they asked why he wanted to marry her. I'm just like, because he's nice. He's a nice guy.
Yeah. That's all she can really say.
In my mind, I'm like, oh, he's a pushover and you can do whatever you want. I got it.
And she was known as the king in the West. We had the king or the queen in the West.
No, that's Queen Dykes a lot. Only name she ever gets.
Yeah. Well, that's what they were calling her.
Yeah.
Because we had the queen in the East, which was it was Queen Alyssa that was the queen in the East, right?
Yeah, because she was Queen Regent.
Yeah, because she was the regent. And then we had Queen Alyssa, who was on Dragonstone.
Yeah.
And her and Jaehaerys had secretly got married a little bit young, and they weren't ready to announce it to everybody yet, but it's kind of getting around.
Well, you know what? I have to say, Alyssa had a good reason to freak out about it, though.
Yeah, after what happened with Aegon, and Rhaena. I don't blame her for being nervous, but I do like that whenever Rogar, and he got paranoid too for the right reasons, he just said it in the wrong way, and it was like, yeah, that's kind of treason. You're no longer the hand. You got to go back to Storm's End.
Yeah, because he was pretty much saying that, we'll just replace him with Queen Dykes a lot. Problem solved.
Yeah, yeah.
And
no, he wanted the Septa. He wanted the Septa girl brought back.
Yeah, yeah. And then they're like, are you out of your fucking mind, bro? Did you really just say that? Like,
yeah.
And someone got a little too high and mighty with himself.
He did. He wanted to go get her, and he sent his brother and all, and they ended up getting captured in Old Town and then exiled later. Sad part was he died 6 months before his 10-year exile was up coming home. Boris, I think, was his name.
It's just the way she died, though. Alyssa's death was selfish of him.
Yeah, because he insisted upon another child.
Yeah, and he just wanted a son. That's what he wanted, a son to inherit.
Yeah.
And she died. They gave her a old school C-section.
Yeah. And that's no fun in any time.
Again, I'm so happy I live in 2019. I almost had 18. Women rarely die in childbirth these days. It happens, but it's extremely rare in first world countries.
Oh yeah, yeah. And it was, but we do get I believe her name was Jocelyn Baratheon, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the name of their older. They Jocelyn and then Boris or Boris. Starts with a B.
Yeah, something like that.
Because he was the father of that douchebag of Storm's End, the one that allowed the dragons to fight.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I have it right here.
He had it. I liked his death. He had a good death.
He did have a good death.
Who do you think's the best character of... Oh, let's stay on this subject. So we're still talking about Aegon the Uncrowned and his brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
There was, 5 of them? There was a couple septas.
Well, let's bring up real quick. Let's get in. Yeah, he had a couple brothers and sisters and all, but we had Queen or King Jaehaerys that actually.
He was the
Queen.
third born son. No, the fourth born son, because Viserys.
Yeah, he.
Aegon, Viserys, and then Jaehaerys.
Viserion. What is the name? Viserion? Viserys?
Viserys was the one that was tortured by Maegor after they took off.
Mm-hmm. And yeah. I was trying to remember if he was a Viserys too or like Viserion.
I think he was Viserys.
Some
I'm pretty
version.
sure his name was Viserys.
He was. I know he was the one that went to the Citadel.
There's I think Bagon was Jaehaerys' son that went to the. He was the
Bagon. That was it. That's the one I'm trying to think about.
Who thought he was so much smarter and better than everyone. He was,
and he had no interest in the girls. He had no interest in anything except for books. And that his father said, Jaehaerys said that was the only time he ever seen him sort of smile was when he told him he was going to the Citadel.
Yeah.
And he later did get offered the throne, and he didn't want it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the only one of their children to not have a dragon.
Yeah, that was true. Well, they say during the reign of Viserys, that was when the most dragons, meaning like descendants of Targaryens and actual dragons, the Great Tourney was the most dragons were ever seen.
Yep. And we got this is going to end up being a two-parter. I can tell there's so much to talk about with this. We had with all their children too. They had Daenerys was their first child. That talking about Alicent and Jaehaerys. They had a daughter.
Their first child died.
Yep, that's what I was bringing up.
Baby Aegon was their first baby, and he died.
Was baby Aegon? I thought Daenerys. Okay, Daenerys she still died though.
Yeah, the shivers.
Yes, which is something I wanted to bring up because I like to talk about this one.
Okay.
It's the only thing we know. Okay, the Targaryens had a thing passed that it was okay for them to intermarry
because they weren't regular people.
Right.
Yeah. I knew where you were going with this. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like an exception thing. They don't get sick. They don't get viruses because they're basically magical people.
They're godly creatures.
Yeah, godly creatures. And then comes along little Daenerys. And
she died of the shivers.
Yeah, she was small. She wasn't. I think she was maybe 6.
Yeah, she was young.
Yeah, she was young, and it was during winter. This is why it stands out at me. It was winter, and winter was there, and she got what was called the shivers. We don't know much about it other than she died from it. There was other people that died that winter from it too, but that's the only thing that we know that's ever killed a Targaryen.
Yeah, and then that led them to be like, oh shit, we've been telling everyone that we're better than them and we can't get sick. What do we do now?
Right, and they worried about the exceptionalism law that they had because of that.
Yep.
That would be called into question. Mm-hmm. What makes me concerned about that too is I wonder about if when winter comes, if the shivers is really like brought on by, you know how when the Night King and the others come around and it really brings the cold? Mm-hmm. Well, the Valyrians and all are summer people, and we know fire doesn't harm them, but what if the cold that does?
Well, the spring sickness killed Daeron II.
Yeah.
So there's been another Targaryen that did die of a common sickness because he died of the spring sickness. Daeron the Good.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. And that was after this. That happened after this, so.
Yeah, that was like 4 Aegons after.
Yeah, a couple generations later.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, that's got me going to look at different bloodlines and all and see what's making it happen.
Well, by then they had already intermarried a few times. They had Valyrian blood. They had Arryn blood. They had definitely Arryn blood because Viserys' first wife was Emma Arryn, but she was half Targaryen herself.
Right.
So that made Rhaenyra a quarter Arryn. And they all got Valyrian, like House Valyria in them, because Aegon the Conqueror married Valyria, and then Aenys married a Valyrian, or his mother was a Valyrian. So a lot of Valyrian blood in there.
Which the Valyrian blood, I don't think really would bother it so much because it's still from old Valaryia. I think it's when they started bringing the other houses in that kind of brought it in.
Well, he married a Martell, but he wasn't Martell.
Yeah, Martells came in later.
Mm-hmm. Because
maybe something with the Roynish.
Baelor Smashhead was half Dornish. I always call him Baelor Smashhead because of Preston. He's changed the way I refer to certain characters.
I know. I still call it Ariana. I can't say it right. It's Ariana because to me, well, I live in Florida too, so I'm used to Spanish names and all that other stuff, and it should be an A on the end. That's how I learned Spanish.
My name, I think, is Latin. Like Felicia. It's a Latin name.
Felicia, yeah.
I always joke around. My name literally translates to Happy Tree Love.
Does it?
Because my first name is Felicia, which is Latin for happiness.
Now I gotta ask, how many times does people go, "Bye, Felicia"?
Oh, I get it by strangers all the time.
Oh, I get. My husband messes with me all the time. He does it to me and my daughter.
Yeah.
He's like, "Bye, Felicia."
I like my name and all, but Ice Cube has made me dislike my name a bit.
My friend started it with me back on Friday, like years ago.
Yeah, because it was something that like people like it gained popularity. It was a thing people did, and then like they stopped, and now it's popular again.
Thanks to Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah,
it just took on a whole new meaning then.
Yeah, but I do get "Bye Felicia" by strangers quite often. Like complete strangers online. Like I'll tweet something and then it's a random stranger.
Yeah. Oh, Connie, you're on 138 of Fire and Blood. Keep reading.
Oh, you got ways
to read too.
You got ways to go.
Yeah, I keep trying to tell Maria, I'm like, keep reading. I keep saying that to Connie too.
You can
I'm
get
like, don't
some
give
of
up.
the chapters, the audiobook chapters on YouTube too. I found some last night.
Yeah, they finally got it on YouTube. Yep.
Well, some of it. I was listening. I fell asleep and I woke up to to World of Ice and Fire. I fell asleep to Fire and Blood and I woke up to the World of Ice and Fire. I hate autoplay. Damn autoplay.
Yeah, me too. I seen where it was like the first 10 hours or something on there. It's like 24 hours or 26.
Yeah, it was a huge audiobook because I put it on my tablet and my tablet doesn't have much space, but it was so full, it was overheating. It was causing my tablet to overheat.
Oh, I believe it.
Because I had so little room available, and even like that little warning, like you have little storage, it could affect your performance. But I'm like, I need to finish this fucking book because it is causing my tablet to overheat. And it's a Samsung, so I'm like, great, overheated lithium-ion battery. We all know how well that goes.
It's trying to click it to see. I think it's 26 hours.
Yeah, it was long. I got
26 hours and 24 minutes.
I got to like 500 and something on because I actually did read the book, the PDF file, but then I never finished it. I got to about like 3/4 of the way, and then I finished the rest on an audiobook.
Yeah,
I got right before the storming of the dragon pit. They were talking about the shepherd, but they never got to the storming hadn't happened yet.
I cried. I'm just gonna tell you, I cried. That was like the most saddest part of the book
dragon pit.
Yeah. Like I bawled like a baby. I was like, I can't read this again. And then I listened to it again. So
it's like one of those things, like you know it's gonna happen, but it's like, oh, why'd she kill all the dragons?
It was just so sad. Well, one of them, it's like they kind of just cornered and she couldn't get out, and she just got trapped in there.
Skyrax? Oh no, Fire.
Yeah. No, I think it was the Red Queen actually.
We had Dreamfire was in there. She was the dragon of Helena.
Yeah, no, yeah, I remember her crying.
And then
whenever Helena died too.
And then you had Tricerion was in there. No, not Trisarion. Joffrey's dragon. He like didn't
Yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah.
Fucking Joffrey Valerian sucks, by the way.
Yeah.
He might be like one of the most annoying characters who's ever existed. Joffrey Valerian. Oh, can't stand him.
No, I agree. I agree.
It's like, good, you fell from the dragon. That's what you get. You know the rules.
Dreamfire was
Shackled and broke out and collapsed
yeah,
the pit.
yeah, collapsed the pit. Yeah.
And then
Nobody likes the narrator. Thank you, baby.
Well, you know what it is? It's because everyone loved Roy Dotrice.
Gotcha.
Roy Dotrice was a beloved, you know, like everyone thinks of Roy, you know, even the good and the bad.
Yeah, even when
No
he
one-
said Brand's name wrong, we still like him better.
Even with Danny's, you know, leprechaun voice, he was still great. He actually won an award because I looked him up one time. He won an award, like it was like a Tony or something, for like the most voices portrayed as a single character on Broadway. And I'm like, go you. Did someone jump in here?
You know who I like reading just the stories in general too was Jorah. And Glenn, can you give me some more tea, please? Thank you.
Yeah, Jorah did one. Yeah, Jorah did one, and Harry Lloyd, who was Harry.
Yeah, him too. I love it when he reads.
He did one of the Dunkin' Eggs, I think.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, Dunkin' Egg is like another stream that you guys will be seeing soon because I have done Dunkin' Egg books like so many times, and they're like, I love Dunkin' Egg. I got my kid and my husband loving Dunkin' Egg now. They're like, so dunk in the towel. They're like, dunk, thick as a castle wall.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dunkin'
Why
Egg's
you want
coming up.
some? You want some Dunkin' Egg questions?
Bring it on.
So when we did trivia a couple weeks back, it was supposed to be Fire and Blood, but I broke the rules. And because I said we were going to have Dunkin' Egg questions in there, so I had to make them. So I did a category on dunk and a category on egg.
I want to ask you one because this is something that I'm just curious to see what people think. Because I got thought on this and I want to see if how you feel about it. Okay, Lord Butterwell, his castle got flattened and they salted the fields, right? Now I've looked at the map and been trying to figure out where it's at. I kind of think it's salt pans. How do you feel about that?
You talking about White Walls?
Yeah.
It's not still called White Walls?
It's gone. They destroyed it from the map.
I don't know. I always thought it was like still a castle that was just standing.
Nope, there's nothing there. And it even says that Bloodraven totally wiped it, and destroyed it, completely gone, and salted the field so nothing would ever be there again.
I wonder if there was another reason for that, though, because it was said that it was made of weirwood tree. And I wonder if there was like another meaning for him to do that, because I think they said that White Walls was made of weirwood tree.
I don't remember the weirwood tree. I know it's just the white stone. Because it looked like milk.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it looked like milk.
It was the second castle of House Bloodwell.
Bloodraven definitely stole the dragon eggs from that place. He had the help of the little dwarfs that were there. It's
located in the Riverlands, near the God's Eye.
Right.
Closer to Maidenpool than King's Landing.
Right, and it was by Lord's Harrowtown, too. Like, if you look at all the description of where it's at, it's right.
I never realized they actually never, I never realized, you can never follow the red dot on this one.
And most castles that are in ruins, it shows ruins on the maps. Oh, I'm a map person. I love maps. And I sat there and I listened to all the descriptions and I read them all and I looked and I'm like, dude, I think that's salt pans.
I never
Because it doesn't ever mention salt pans before. Like in Dunkin' Egg, you hear no mention of it. But you hear all the other places.
Where is Salt Pans located? It's a river, sits in a bay of crabs, house cocks, like the cable. Never heard of them. It could be, yeah. Like where it's located. They say it's closer to Maidenpool and it's right near Harrowtown. Yeah. That could be it. Yeah. I agree. I never thought about it though, honestly.
It got me curious one day, and I was like, they salted the field. Sounds like salt pans to me. Oh, another thing where we were talking about Alice Rivers earlier.
Yep.
Another person I thought about was Lady Went. And her with her large bats and bathing in blood and all that other stuff. So maybe she never really left Harrenhal. And if that's the case, that could mean that Catelyn's blood is in her too.
Yeah, because they never say what, because she had the baby. Because I remember at the end of the book, they talk about her having the baby and like saying that, you know, everyone should kneel before the new king or something. And then she's never spoken of again. The baby's never named. Like, I thought it was a boy, but now you're making me think it might have been a girl. You know, I wonder what happened to that baby.
I think so much. It talks about that earlier too, like at the beginning of the chapter that's called "The Dying of the Dragons." It specifically brings up her, and it talks about she's been a milk mother to the current Strongs and the Strongs before them, and she's been there for generations. But all her babies died, and all I could think about was shadow babies. And I'm like, is this Melisandre or another Red Priestess, or what's going on? Because then we had like the Melody Piper girl, we had another Alice, and just like with hanging out with Rhaena and all these other people. And it's like we seem to have a chick hanging around in all throughout Fire and Blood, and it makes me question the presence of Melisandre, honestly. But then I got thinking, you know what? I wonder if this is going to be the Ghost of Highheart and Jenny Oldstones.
Yeah, that's what you were saying that one earlier. Well, the Ghost of Highheart makes more sense.
Right, especially the way that, or if that's not Jenny Oldstones, it could be her mother, you know?
Yeah, she could be descendant.
Right, because I looked at the
yeah, because there's way too much time between.
Right, I looked at the family tree, and it makes
years.
more sense for there to be a mother before Jenny of Oldstones.
Yeah,
just because of the time, but it would work good for her being the Ghost of Highheart, and I was like, that would actually be perfect because of how Aegon and all of them accepted Jenny of Oldstones and the Ghost of Highheart and listened to what she said. I'm sure growing up they knew all about Alice Rivers already.
Well, because she did that whole thing where she was demanding the whole world swear fealty to her. I'm sure she didn't just give that up after a week.
Right, and Prince Aemon, he was around for a while, so I'm sure he, like, everybody knew. I'm sure it was common knowledge about her.
Well, everyone knew she was pregnant. Everyone knew that was his, his girl.
Right. And I mean, later on, it talks about that he had, like with Darren, he had a Dornish paramour that he just gave up.
Oh, yeah. Darren who? Which one?
The first one. The one that died.
Darren, the young dragon?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, because I remember I did, one of my trivia questions was, who's the only king who was never married?
Yeah.
And it was him. He's the only one who was never married because, well, he died at 14, so,
Yeah, he was the only king for like a year, I think.
Yeah, he, became king, invaded Dorne, got himself killed.
Yep.
And
Viserys was for a year. That's what it was.
I know Aegon had a Dornish paramour, but she was one of the hostages from Dorne.
Oh, maybe it was Aegon I'm thinking about then.
Well, he was Aegon the Unworthy. He had a Dornish paramour from when they took hostages from Dorne.
And then gave her back for him to take back. That's what I was thinking about.
He didn't want to give her back. He was pissed when his father made her give him back.
Okay, that's who I'm thinking about then. Because he gave him back with all the hostages.
Yeah, I was wondering. I wonder if Viserys II was even Viserys II.
Yeah.
Because that would be like the coolest thing if it wasn't, because that means the entire Targaryen line is tainted. Yeah. Then that would totally ruin the whole Dany being a dragon hatcher thing. So I take it back.
That's
But
a good question.
Like, because he was gone forever, and he grew up a lot. It was like, what, 5 years since he was last seen?
Right.
And there's a lot of kids that looked Valyrian over there. Like, a lot of them, they had the pleasure houses, so they could have found any Valyrian whore who just recently had a kid.
Yeah, and you know what? It's funny because you bring up him too. It made me wonder about Viserys's roots. Or not Viserys, Varys.
Yeah. Oh, I've heard
Because-
those theories, yeah, because the shaved head and the castration could imply that they don't want the Targaryens to lie to succeed.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think that he's probably a Blackfire, if anything, in general. But because of where Viserys disappeared overseas and all that other stuff, and it just makes me wonder if that's where Varys' bloodline comes from.
He could be a descendant of Jaehaerys' daughter who ran away to be a whore.
Oh, yeah, Sarah? No, that's the other one I thought about, too.
Because I remember thinking, like, because she ran away and became a whore. Which
Yeah,
means
she was a big whore, at least.
she was a famous one, like, you know. So, like, she probably had a bunch of kids.
Let's see if I can remember what I was thinking about. Oh, okay. When I was reading this, I was wondering about Sir Kristen Cole. Okay, because Sarah and her little hoe friends that she was all hanging out with, she had the 2 girls and 3 boys.
Mm-hmm.
The one thought she was pregnant, but the other one ended up to be, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Then she went to the Vale. She had the baby. Then they sent the Vale to the Dondarrions to grow up or whatever. The steward adopted it or whatever at Blackhaven. And it made me wonder if that could possibly be Sir Kristen Cole. And maybe that's why he's got kind of the Targaryen grudge. Like he just wanted to be the Kingsguard so he could come in there and just kind of cause turmoil.
Well, he's the only Cole we ever hear of.
Right, but that could just be
so that could be like a bastard name like Tanner or something.
Right.
I see what you mean, because he is a Stormlander. He was born at Blackhaven in 82 AC. It does add up.
Right, and he really, it's like, we still don't know if he really was playing with her or and just trying to make her fall in love with him and rejecting him. You know, like we don't know if mushrooms accounts right or what with what was going on with them. You know, and then he flipped on her and went to the green side and became the kingmaker. But honestly, it was more like he just betrayed her and was trying to. It was almost like he helped conspire and do it all with Alicent Hightower and her dad.
It adds up because I'm looking at the year he was born.
Yep. No, I did that too.
Yeah, Emma Aaron marries Roderick, and that's the birth of Emma, Viserys' first wife.
And we never find out if she has.
And Dela dies in childbirth.
Yep.
So that's like, it does add up, though. The timeline's there.
So that'd be a good reason to have a grudge against Targaryens, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was Alicent that set up the marriages to try and she tried to get the one to marry her, and he was like, "No, I'm not marrying her," but the other guy would.
Yeah, it makes sense.
The red guy. Where was he from? He was in the Reach, I think.
Ball?
No, it was the red hair guy that was hanging out with him, though.
Connington?
No, it wasn't a Connington.
I'm trying to think of notorious gingers.
I know, I am too. I might have it written right here. Hang on, let's see.
I really liked her character, though. But I'm a feminist, and I'm all like, my body, my choice, free love, you know. So I'm like, yeah, let your freak flag fly. Let your freak flag fly. Do your thing, you know. Own your sexuality. So,
right.
I like her as a character.
Do what makes you happy. I'm all for that.
Yep. And Bela. Oh, love her.
Oh, I love Bela too, yeah.
Maybe she's probably my favorite female Targaryen, because Daemon will always be bae.
Yeah. Oh, I love Daemon.
Cue the porn music.
Yeah.
I always say that.
Yeah.
I always say that whenever, like, because I was like, the blueprint. Like, I love the way Preston does it.
I do too.
I think I might rewatch that genealogy one, though, because I wonder how much, if he's going to redo it now with the new lines, with all the new descendants, because there's more named Targaryens now. Before we had, like some idea, but we're getting a lot more names and marriages. And the wiki needs to update.
Yeah, Kristen Cole I got Kristen Cole, son of a steward at Blackhaven. Was he the bastard given to the couple of Sarah's friends? 3 couples. Massaria was the White Worm's name we were trying to remember a little while ago.
That he was born of a steward of Blackhaven. It really does add up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Here's something. Where'd it go?
Oh, you hear that dude cackling in the background? Ugh.
He's like, when Kristen Cole refused to take the favor and took Alicent, and then he killed Laenor's lover the night it kisses.
That's rumored. Oh, he killed him in the melee,
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, he killed him in the melee. He beats everyone, and the night it kisses so bad he dies 6 days later on the 7th. Or he was so bad he dies 6 days later on the 7th Stranger Day. He dies.
Yeah, and I think his name was Joffrey, right?
I'm not sure.
Because I know his.
Yeah, I think it was Joffrey.
That was his favorite that Joffrey was named after. He begged his wife to name the kid Joffrey, and then she's like, okay, whatever, they're not yours anyways.
Right, that is where we got Joffrey. Yep.
Actually, the oldest Joffrey that is named that I could think of is Joffrey Lyndon, who went on to marry the eldest daughter of Casterly Rock and took on the Lannister name and was the first Andal king of the Rock.
You know what I think about? I wonder if Cersei married her Joffrey after the one that was like the kind of warrior one for the faith that ended up a Kingsguard.
Maybe. Because Joffrey's a name that comes up a lot.
Joffrey the Red something.
That's the name that comes up a lot.
Yeah, he's well talked about, I know. I kind of like that we get a sex book in Fire and Blood too.
Oh, what is it? A warning for young girls?
Yeah, by Coraline Wilde.
They think it's not explicitly stated. Well, I was watching an interview with George R.R. Martin. He was on like Colbert.
Uh-huh.
And I never knew this. I never thought about it. But one of the big things that Tolkien was criticized for was there was no sex.
Yeah.
And I never thought about it. I didn't realize that sex was in fantasy went hand in hand. I've really never thought too much about it. But then he was made a joke that Tolkien would never refer to the book that he referred to as. They talk about like that the book about young girls and what not to do. Did you hear the revelation about George R.R. Martin?
What?
There's a show on PBS called Finding Your Roots. And it's a show where celebrities go on and they find out their ancestry and like,
Yeah, I didn't know they did one for him though.
It was the last episode. It just aired a couple days ago. It was him and Andy Samberg. It was him and Andy Samberg. That's why I watched it, because I like Andy Samberg too.
I do too.
And well, George R.R. Martin's mother, his grandmother, had been estranged from her husband for years, and the story he was always told was husband left and started a new family, and she wouldn't give him a divorce. And so he never really knew his grandfather. Turns out it was not his grandfather.
Oh, wow.
He has no clue who his grandfather is. His grandmother must have cheated on his grandfather. And he has a secret parentage. He's found out he's a quarter Jewish. He always thought he was Italian, and now he learns that he knows absolutely nothing about his true lineage. How George R.R. Martin-esque.
Right. He needs to do one of them ancestry blood tests now.
Well, they did that. They could not find a match.
Oh, wow.
That's what they do. They go like through great lengths to try to figure out who the people, like they found Andy Samberg's mom was adopted. They found both of her parents.
Oh, wow.
Through just like public records, adoption records. Because back in the day, like now, I know there's a law now. You can Finding Your Roots. It's called Finding Your Roots with the doctor guy.
Yeah, no, I've seen them. I've seen a few of them. I didn't know they had him on there though.
The season just started back up a couple days ago. Like it's brand spanking new.
Yeah,
And I saw something online where people are trying to find his long lost grandfather.
My friend actually, she's been trying to find her dad for years, and we've come to the conclusion he's either like in the witness protection program or has completely changed his identity and give a false identity, because there's no records of him anywhere. She can find where he married her mom and divorced her mom, and that's it. She's checked literally state by state, like death and birth certificates, adoption records, prison
He might have
records.
changed
She's
his
looked
name.
everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like
My
he never
mom's
existed.
adopted.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, that's him.
Well,
He was adopted, so she can't find nothing on him though. She just knows his name. She can find other people with the name, but there's like a huge age difference, and it's not him.
There's a law that passed recently. I don't know if it was countrywide, but for Rhode Island, I know for sure. It was so adopted people can get their original birth certificate, and they can find out because before, like, if it was a closed adoption, no matter what you did, you couldn't find out the name. So now they have a new law where all adopted kids can find out the names, get their original birth certificate. And so my mom got her original birth certificate, and she found out the name of her biological mother, but there was no father on the birth certificate.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I just to find out for her, because she always wants to hang out.
What just happened? You there?
Oh yeah, he was asking me
Okay.
what season to put in the sauce.
Sauce. I love sauce.
I'm making lasagna. He started my sauce for me.
Oh, by the way, can I do the cottage cheese?
No, you're not eating the cottage cheese. Not yet.
No, I want a spread. You know?
I thought it was ricotta cheese you use.
Depends. You can use either or. Depends on your mood and which one we grab at the time. Sometimes I use one of each and mix them together, actually.
I've never made a lasagna. That's nope. I'll let my Italian boyfriend do that.
Yeah. Oh, I make my sauce from scratch and everything. I love making lasagna.
Nope, I don't do dinner. I got breakfast, lunch, and dessert down. Dinner, not so much. He can handle that.
Oh, I can make anything.
I can make a mean grilled cheese.
I've been cooking since I was 8 years old.
That's not holding.
Well, I was like cooking, but not well.
I'm already trying to teach my kids. I'm like, go ahead and learn now so you don't have to figure it out later. Emma will come in there and learn with me, and Cole's like, yeah, I can make tea or microwave stuff. I'm like, that's good, you're a boy. As long as you got something to drink and you can work a microwave, you're good, son.
I've never really had to learn to cook because I've always had people who just love to cook for me.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Jen, welcome to chat. I see you over there now, too.
Welcome, Jen.
Bubba, I think we already seen you, but hey, again, if I missed you. Woohoo. Let's see, where are we at? I know we're definitely going to have to continue this one. There's a lot of Targaryen stuff.
That Christian Cole theory before, but it must be a new theory because of that.
That was just something I thought about. I don't really think I've told anyone really about that. But it just dawned on me because I was like, wait a minute, they were hoes. There's a kid here that he's living with these people, and didn't they leave their kid with a steward there? That baby?
It says that he's the son of the steward of Blackhaven. It adds up. Right.
And that's where they took the baby. They said when she had the baby in the veil, then they took the baby and gave it to a steward that was a family, that couldn't have kids. And then she went and married the other guy because what family was he from? It's in the Reach, but he was just a hoe and said, I'm not marrying or pregnant with someone else's kid. So it was the one that was the real bad one.
What, a Trant? No.
Yeah, no, he was a man whore.
Oh, he was the one that like convinced him to sleep with all of them.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, because they're like,
instigator.
marry her. You got her with child. And he's like, you have no proof that that's mine.
Yeah, and he
And I was
said,
like,
I ain't gonna marry her
damn,
with someone else's kid. Yeah,
send that motherfucker to Maury.
yeah, right. Well, the flames say. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and wrap this up today. Let's continue this definitely because we got a lot more to go on, and we're just gonna really get into Alisada Jaehaerys. So,
I
yeah,
personally am a big fan of Targaryens, and
me
I spend
too.
way too much time making questions. Milt says I have an unhealthy obsession with monarchies, which makes me un-American. And I'm like, okay, I'll give you that.
I'm the same way, Milt, especially when it comes to the Targaryen and Westerosi stuff. I probably, and here's the bad part. In school, I was like, I'm 7 credits away from being a historian. And then I had kids and I just haven't finished my 7 credits. But that's what I want to do. I like research. I love history. I love mythology. This is my jam. And then I got sucked into all this that I'm kind of like, I don't care about anything else. I want to know this history.
Fake history. Give me more fake history.
Right. So that's it. And I really love the Targaryen history the most, I think.
Well, we get more about them. No house gets as much. Like, we get more about them than anyone. We have a straight bloodline, every descendant. Like, no other house does that. We even get 6 generations before Aegon.
And
like,
that's the truth.
We don't get that. Like, there's like a million Starks. There's probably more named Starks, but we don't know diddly squat about them. We just know their name.
I can't wait to hear more about the Starks. I think, and we get a little bit about the Starks in here. We get a lot about Baratheons in here.
Yeah, it seems as if the Baratheons
Greyjoy.
married in like 3 or 4 times.
Oh yeah. I think they're just as interconnected as the Valaryans are, actually.
Well, so far, technically,
Close.
If you want to think about it, technically the first marriage was a Valerian, because Alyssa was not Targaryen, but she was like, probably had the Valerian blood though, because the Aegon's mom was a Valerian who was half Targaryen, so they were, swapping wives like it was, they were swingers, man.
And it actually said that there was even an old Valaria that some of the wizards and sorcerers and all actually took more than one wife. So that was a common practice then. It
says that Aenar took off with all his wives. It said his wives, plural. Which means, Aenar the exile definitely had more than one wife because it says wives, plural.
Right. So because they basically just adjusted for Westerosi for the 7.
Yeah. Well,
to appease the 7.
I was reading the Conquest again, and the Maesters write the history, so I find it odd that it says that 7 days after he received the hands of his envoy, he sent out the letters. Like, I think that's some revisionist history there.
Oh yeah, no, I do too.
Like, how convenient that all the time it's 7 days, 7 hours, 7 this. Like, get over it. There are other numbers.
Yeah, they stick to the number 7 a lot. I've noticed that too.
There are other numbers in the world.
And 3s. We have a lot of 3s because if you think about the 3 heads of the dragon too, that one shows up a lot.
Oh man, I gotta get Pete to make his own video with his girl. They did this 12 Days of Conquest song. Johnny Giant Spain did a video where it was a Christmas video, and they made their own renditions of holiday songs with
I seen on the bloopers where they were doing it too.
Yeah, and it's good because the end is like 4 noble waters, 3 dragon eggs, 2 sisters' wives, and a throne of swords and lords fealty. Like, they killed it. They went all the way to 12. Like, I gotta say, I'm telling him, you gotta write that, you gotta copyright that, because someone's gonna steal it. Like, it's so good that people are gonna want it. Like I swear, like, it's good. It's like you can tell they spent a lot of time doing it.
Oh yeah, that was good. Yeah, I seen it.
Yeah, I'll send you a link to if he's kept the video, because it's at the very end. Took him a couple tries, but man, him and his girl, they were crushing it. And Johnny had a quick one, Stanner man, and it just made him look so bad.
Oh, bless his heart for being a Stanner man too. They still standing by with that hope, ain't they?
Well, because we know D&D alternative facts, man.
I know.
It's like when they admit that they disliked his character in the book. They openly said that they didn't care for Stannis, so they went out of their way to ruin his character.
Yeah, and you know what? I keep the little hope that just because Brienne killed him in the show, that he could still pop up a white. We don't know that his body was burned.
That actor was really happy to be done, though. The actor is like, "Oh God, finally I'm dead." Like
Yeah, he said he didn't
hated.
seem to like it too much.
He did. He said that he didn't understand his character because D&D gave him a one-dimensional character, pretty much. I want to rule. It's my birthright. I'll do anything for the throne. That was the one dimension of his character that I disagree with.
Yeah, I like Stannis in the books. I love Stannis in the books. In the show, he's just a little too rigid.
Yeah, you talk to a show-only watcher, and you talk about how great Stannis is. They're like, I'm like my mom. I tell you, she keeps calling me because she doesn't understand what's going on. And I talk about how great Stannis is, and she's like, I hate him. He buried his daughter. I'm like, you don't. All you know is the lies. All you know is the lies you've been told.
Yeah, you know what, though? I understand why he burned Shireen, and I know he didn't want to do it. And here's the thing. His wife knew the whole time what was happening, and that's why she was okay to bring her.
I think that in the books, I think everyone agrees that Stannis won't do it. It's going to be Melisandre and Mustachio Ho.
Yeah, Mustachio Ho. That's it, Mustachio Ho.
I get to make fun of it because I have it as well. I got dark hair. I get to make
all
fun
do,
of
honey.
it.
They have little things for that. Them little trimmers for your eyebrows.
No, I got to get some bleach.
Oh, that's good.
Nice. You get a ladle.
He just handed me a taste of those sauces. Perfect, baby. He's in there making sure he spiced it right for me.
I've got porn, computer, my own money. The fuck I need a wife. I don't know how to cook.
He says, I got porn.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Oh,
to keep your ass online doing that stuff.
That's funny.
To spend his money. That's what he needs it for. And take care of them youngins.
I got a boyfriend who takes very good care of me. He is old school and he's like, you don't have to work. I got this.
Yeah, that's how he is. He just likes to talk smack. He's silly. We've been married 17 years. We were separated sort of too. And then but I don't even count that anymore.
Couples these days don't stay together. They break up like every 3 weeks. They go fuck other people and they get back together and they never forgive each other for it. That's couple these days don't know how to couple. They don't know what they're doing.
Right, but I can tell you this, and I've been with them completely since I was 19, but I started dating them when I was 16.
Oh, you guys high school sweethearts? That's so cute.
No, we weren't in high school, but yeah. He lived in another school, and both of us weren't in school at that point. We both went and got our GEDs. We were like, we got other shit to do.
Honestly, I have a GED too.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Well, I talk about my circumstances were different, so I would have never graduated high school no matter how good I did. So
I didn't have patience for it. I could do everything, no problem. I just didn't want to be at school.
The state broke the law and let me sign myself out of high school when I was 17 in a ward of the state.
I got kicked out. We'll see. I quit twice in junior year. Like I quit, went back and quit. Then senior year, they kicked me out for skipping 42 out of the first 60 days. Never got caught by my mom though. And then she's like, "Are you going to go to school tomorrow or they're going to expel you?" I was like, "No." She goes, "All right then." And I worked all the time. She's like, "Well, go get your GED or something." And I walked in there and didn't take my practice or nothing. I just went in there.
Yeah, that shit's so easy.
It was easy.
Yeah, I was in group homes. Everyone knows that. I talk about it. I was in group homes from 12 to 18, and I moved around so often. I was in like 19 group homes in the end of it. So I was never at one school long enough to even accumulate any credits. So I would have never graduated. I was 17 in 9th grade with 0 credits.
Well, that was me. I moved a lot, and then I got kicked out a lot in high school. So, like, the 2 times I dropped out was different schools.
Well, the first time I failed, that was actually my fault. I didn't go to school. The first year was my fault. The next 2 were not. But so I would have never graduated because they kick you out of school at a certain age. So I was almost 18, about to start 9th grade for the 5th time. So they just said, let her get her GED. And I was,
Oh yeah.
I was a complete ward of the state. My parents had no rights. So I was like, my guardian was technically the state of Rhode Island, and I was able to sign myself out of school at 17, which is not legal. They literally broke the law to let me do it.
Really? You can do it at 16 here.
No, you need to have parental consent. Your parents need to sign you out. I didn't have any parents. My parents were stripped of their rights. So I don't, technically, even actually to this day, I say it all the time, I don't know who my next of kin is.
Really?
Yeah, because my parents lost rights. They were deemed unfit to make choices for my well-being. So I honestly have I'm not legally related to any of my siblings because they've all been adopted by other families. So I don't know until I get married. I don't know who my official next of kin is. Like if I get
put
hit
my
by a car,
on there.
well, we're not married, so he has no legal, anything. So like if I get hit by a car and I go into a coma and someone needs to decide whether or not to pull the cord, I don't know who's making that decision.
Yeah, I would still put him on there.
Well, I'm gonna go make my mother my next of kin officially because me and my mom are on good terms.
Yeah, then do that. Yeah,
because she's still my mommy. I don't hold a grudge for everything that happened, and so I'm gonna make her my official next of kin. And I think she'll appreciate it because it makes her feel like a mother again.
Yeah, I know. That's who I always got. I always got my husband and my mom.
Well, it's because I was good. My oldest sister, Deidre, we aged out. All my brothers and sisters were adopted by their families, but my sister and me aged out.
Yeah.
So we were legally related. And then my sister recently at 28 got legally adopted by a woman who adopted 3 of my siblings because she's got a lot of money and she's willing to give her kids a bunch of trust funds.
Oh.
She's like, Deidre, I'll adopt you and leave your kids a bunch of money. And she's like, yeah, sure.
Right.
So now with that, I have not legally related to any of my siblings or my parents.
Oh, wow.
So I have no clue who my next of kin is. I think it might be my Nana, but she's 94 and not all there. I do not want her making the decisions.
Yeah.
So I actually called up my dad's oldest brother and said, hey, you're probably my next of kin.
He said put a ring on it.
No, he'll never marry me. I'll be a spinster. I'm just going to get a bunch of cats. Every year I'm not married, I'm getting another cat.
Oh, Lord. All right.
I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
We're going to do this again real soon, like in the next couple days if you're down.
Yeah. I'll be, let me check. I don't have a life. There's nothing on this calendar.
Yeah, me either.
I got a physical and I got to babysit my nephew. But that's 2 weeks.
Okay, so we're down. We'll see you guys the next day. We're going to talk about some Targaryen stuff some more.
I will make notes. I'll bring notes. I was going to prepare last night. All my notes were this actually worked out because we never really got past Viserys. Past Jaehaerys.
Yep.
So all my notes
start on Jaehaerys and his kids and Alicent.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get in there.
So we got 3 Targs in after 3 hours.
Yeah. It's gonna get really good now because I think that was the best part of Fire and Blood was Jaehaerys and Alicent.
Well, he got
everything.
He got
there.
a huge. I don't know what was bigger, the dance or Jaehaerys. Actual content wise.
Yeah. I don't know either. Yeah. I think there was a lot more interesting stuff with Jaehaerys and Alicent, just as far as cool little things we learned.
Well, yeah, because they lived so long and so much happened, and he really was he united the realm. But that's what we'll talk about next time.
All right, let's do it. And guys, thank you again, everybody, for coming, and thank you, Felicia, and we will see you soon.
Trivia Friday night with me, Ben, and Bran doing our 52 pickup format.
Ooh, yeah. All right, that'll be a good one. And yeah, I like that. Bubba said it's going to be retargeted. All right. And you guys have a good Saturday night. And we'll see you later.
Football.
Yep. Enjoy the football. Bye, guys.